south, causing material damage. Meanwhile, Iran has fired air defences at a major airbase and a nuclear site near its central city of Isfahan after spotting drones. Some flights have been diverted or grounded after reports of explosions nearby. The commotion early Friday raises fears of a possible Israeli retaliatory strike following Tehran's unprecedented drone and missile assault on the country. I'm Charles Dilladesma.
Jury selection nearing completion at the New York criminal trial of former President Trump. 12 jurors have been seated, 5 alternates left to be chosen. Mr. Trump continues to complain about the trial, insisting it's a politically motivated sham, and it's being presided over, he says, by a Trump-hating judge.
The whole world is watching this, folks. You got a DA that's out of control. You have a judge that's highly conflicted. The whole thing is a mess, and you have the leading candidate, the leading crooked Joe Biden by law. He's the one that should be in trouble. He's a crook. You got a crooked president.
The trial focuses on a routine non-disclosure agreement that paid a woman $130,000 during the 2016 campaign. Mr. Trump insists he did nothing wrong. The money did not come from campaign funds. Foreign aid bill on Ukraine is headed to the House for a vote. That vote expected tomorrow. Some Republicans are upset the measure fails to include U.S. border security provisions. Watching Wall Street ahead of the opening bell, Dow futures are down 17 points, NASDAQ futures off 23, and the S&P futures are down a fraction. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Relief factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
Jessica, this is the happiest day of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV and insured it with Progressive. Man, I love that thing. There are a million fish in the sea, which I'm reminded of every time I bring my RV to the lake, but I vow to love and cherish you just as much as I cherish campsites with full electric and water hookups. I'm so sorry.
Protect your beloved with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliate.
Polish police confirmed the arrests of 2 people suspected of carrying out an attack last month on a key ally of the late Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny.
Lithuania's president thanked both countries' police forces. He also warned the attack's organizers, do not try to repeat it. Leonid Volkov served as Mr. Navalny's chief of staff until the opposition leader died in a Russian prison in February. Mr. Volkov has lived outside Russia for some years for his own safety. He suffered a broken arm during last month's assault outside his home, during which he was repeatedly struck with a hammer. Writing on social media, Mr. Volkov said it was important to expose what he called the chain of command from Putin to the guy with the hammer.
The BBC's Adam Easton. The head of the EU's executive branch says Finland's decision to close its border crossings with Russia over a surge of migrants is a security matter for the entire 27-member bloc to consider. News and analysis at townhall.com. Some Californians want their cities back.
A coalition backed by some of the nation's largest retailers has announced it has collected 900,000 signatures to put a tough-on-crime statewide ballot initiative before California voters in November. The measure would roll back parts of Proposition 47, a ballot measure that reduced certain theft and drug possession offenses from felonies to misdemeanors to address overcrowding in jails. The coalition announced Thursday it had collected enough signatures for the initiative, which aims to harshen penalties for fentanyl dealers and repeat shoplifters. Top Democratic leaders in the state already said reform of Proposition 47 is not necessary. Keith Peters reporting.
12 students and 1 teacher killed in the Columbine High School massacre to be remembered in a vigil today on the eve of the 25th anniversary of the mass shooting. The gathering is the main public event marking the anniversary, which is more subdued than in previous milestone years. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat.
Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder. and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes.
Made it to Friday.
You are correct, sir.
Sunny out. Nice day.
Yeah.
Mid-70s.
Fantastic, actually.
Some rain this weekend, which may or may not be good depending on what you got going on. But hopefully it works for everyone's plans.
I think the rain's going to be centralized here, and we're fleeing to other parts.
Well, I know, like, there's the golf tournament this weekend.
Which is why I'm dressed as my best Tiger Woods.
I noticed. I was like, hey, is that a new shirt or just a shirt you don't wear very often?
No, it's actually relatively brand new, actually.
Oh, nice.
Tag off, yeah.
Nice. I was like, it looks like a new shirt, or either a shirt that just sat in the closet that you bought one time and never wore.
It was a gift from a lovely young lady, and I said, you know what, I'm going to channel my inner Tiger Woods since we're going golf tournament this weekend.
Nice. Have you ever golfed?
No.
I don't think
barely
I've ever
mini golfed.
Yeah, okay, you've done that. Have you never even gone to? Have you gone to like a driving range?
Like a driving range? No.
And whacked around?
Well, I've gone to several golf tournaments, but as, talent,
a DJ.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, and this is how little I've golfed. Last year, myself and our Spanish station, PR 106.1, Miss Claudia, we were sitting there in the brand wagon, the big boombox, and we're looking at all these golf carts that are kind of taking off and heading towards the course.
Yeah.
And we noticed that a lot of them had just a random towel, like a towel hanging out of their back pocket, or a towel, and then like that, and then there was just a bucket like set up like on the path for the golf carts. There was just a bucket, and everybody would go and they would dunk their towels in these buckets, and they would put them on their golf bags.
Gotcha.
And the whole time we were sitting like, what is that for? What are they do? It turns out it's because when you're whacking the ball, your clubs get muddy, and so they keep a wet rag to clean your clubs.
Yeah,
I never put that together. But like everybody was just going up and like wetting a rag and like putting it on their golf cart.
Well, they got the ball washers usually at the holes,
right,
and all that. It's all part of that.
But like my mindset went to, is this like a lucky thing? Like how basketball players will tap the sign before they go out the dressing room.
And I imagine too, depending on how hot it is, it might be a rag to cool you off.
Although I'm not sure how much I want to dab communal water on my forehead.
I don't know. Depends how hot it is.
That is true. Yeah, I would have dabbed some communal water on my forehead yesterday. It was blazing.
Yeah, so you're hot enough. You're like, I don't care how brown that water is. It's cold.
It was aggravating.
It's going over my head.
Like my son, he had a rough afternoon at school, and I was waiting to pick him up outside of school. And he was mopey, so he didn't want to come out of the nice air-conditioned hallway of the school.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there with sun beating down on me. I'm trying to be a sympathetic father, but I'm like, come on.
Move him legs faster.
You're killing me. Oh, slow, sad boy.
Well.
I digress.
But it's all right. It's Friday. He's
yes.
How happy, and probably in a whole different world now. So.
Oh, yeah.
But happy Friday.
Indeed.
That is the whole point.
Make the most of it.
Yeah, I hope your Friday's going well.
I'm sorry. Our videos, the feed on the line is about 30 seconds behind. I'm just watching my mannerisms like, washing the rag. Anyways.
I think we got our computer issues fixed from yesterday.
We are back to having sound.
For that. We were having, it's just computers. I'll just go with that. Technology, and some days it works, some days you want to kick it in the face. And yesterday was a kick it in the face kind of day.
Very much so, yeah.
But I think we're all right in the world again with the computer stuff there. So.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, you got you're going to see the concert.
Heading for the concert, yeah.
I'm going to go up to Albuquerque tomorrow for Savannah Bananas. I looked at the weather in Albuquerque. Like tomorrow's supposed to get windy. See, they're not supposed to get rain. Like according to their weather, they're not Albuquerque, but they're supposed to get real windy tomorrow. But then Sunday's supposed to be like 80 and nice. So I think we're going to be okay for our game.
I haven't checked
Sunday.
Clovis yet, but since it's so close to Texas, I'm just going to assume 80 to 90 mile an hour winds consistently.
Hey, is that a Bowling for Soup song? So close to Texas.
That's actually very close. Very close to a Bowling for Soup song. Well, you know what? They're not wrong. The Mexican food does suck north of there. I've had Mexican food in Oklahoma. It is garbage.
Well, to be honest, now that I'm full-on New Mexican, any Mexican outside of New Mexico or Mexico is kind of garbage to me.
Right?
You go to Texas and like, oh, their Mexican food's not going to be as good.
That's why I always laugh at Jim Gaffigan talking about the Ohio Mexican restaurant. Tortilla with cheese, meat, and vegetables. It's like, no, that's white people Mexican food. Say asada. Soften that D.
Well, I will, real quick, that reminds me of a story from my brother and I. And my brother, at this time, lived in, which would have been, I believe it was in Northern Virginia, a different part of Northern Virginia he lives in now. Doesn't matter for the story. I'm getting into the details here.
The weeds.
So my wife and I came to visit one time, and he goes, hey, there's a restaurant I want to take you to. It's a New Mexican restaurant. I was like, you sure about that? And they're like, no, the person's from New Mexico. I was like, do they know what green chili is? Yes.
Okay.
I'm like, all right. And so when we came to visit, sure enough, we went to that restaurant, and by golly, in Northern Virginia, I had New Mexican food.
Really?
And it was pretty good.
It wasn't like Tex-Mex.
No.
Okay.
This person, it was green chili, Christmas, all the lingo of New Mexico they knew. And they cooked it pretty close to
nice. A little taste of home.
I was shocked. I was like, I will eat my hat. That is New Mexican.
Was that part of the dinner? Today we serve hat. lightly braised in a green chili sauce. This is delicious.
Do you like your hat sweet or savory? But it was legit New Mexican food in Virginia, Northern Virginia of all places.
You never see it.
Yeah, but that's the only time I've ever come, because prior to moving to Maryland or to New Mexico here from Maryland, my Mexican top seed, Chi-Chi's. All right.
Fair enough.
Like how people think of seafood in, sorry, Red Lobster, but Red Lobster here, that's how we thought of,
Ours was our chain restaurant was called El Chico. My grandma loved El Chico. That was like the one restaurant she would always go to.
Yeah.
But we went to this place called Abuelitas in Shawnee, and it was they touted themselves as authentic Mexican food.
Yeah.
So I ordered the green chili enchilada platter, and what I got was an abomination. It was a tortilla covered with cheese with a green chili strip inside of the tortilla.
Lovely.
That was not a green chili enchilada.
No.
You sons of guns. What I failed to do was order like a meat with it. So I just ordered, green chili enchiladas. That sounds delightful. It was not.
No bueno.
No es bueno.
Yeah, but the Chi-Chi's, they're a chain, I think. Like they've mentioned it. I guess.
I think they actually closed down now. But
did they?
I think so. But I remember hearing about them.
Like for instance, like my wife had never heard of Chi-Chi's. However, the only in modern history of modern television, I've heard people reference Chi-Chi's is in Young Sheldon, which they're in Texas. So I'm like, well, apparently somebody in Texas had a Chi-Chi's because they knew all about Chi-Chi's in that show.
Wow.
What?
Okay. I did not expect that. First of all, Chi-Chi's did go out of business.
Okay.
But here's why. This says the true nail in the coffin for Chi-Chi's restaurant came in the form of a 2003 hepatitis outbreak.
That doesn't surprise me.
Contaminated green onions served at Chi-Chi's locations near Pittsburgh led to more than 600 cases of Hep A, killing 4 people. Chi-Chi's killed 4 people.
That's Mexican food.
That's when you know. That's when you know your food is powerful.
Yeah, I did not know that.
I did not expect that at all.
It does not surprise me either.
What I was going to say is, I wonder if it's one of those restaurants or businesses that went out of business in America, but it is booming in other countries.
Some other place.
Like, did you know that Kenny Rogers Roasters is huge in like Thailand?
Really?
Yeah, they have like Hong Kong or Thailand.
They
or
love
one
their
of those.
rotisserie chicken.
They
huh?
have like 600 locations of Kenny Rogers Roasters still open.
In all fairness, the 1 or 2 times I went to a Kenny Rogers Roaster, I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
I liked it. I had to get those Thai noter Kenny Rogers.
I know. It's the same thing with KFC and Japan.
Yeah.
Back in the, I want to say like 70s or 80s, they ran this campaign, KFC for Christmas, or Colonel for Christmas or something like that. And so now it's like a Japanese Christmas tradition for for families to have KFC on Christmas Day.
Nice. Very good.
It's marketing.
I mean, we have
Makes the world
turkey's
go
a
round.
thing. Why not a fried chicken?
Right? Exactly.
Why not?
Yeah.
Or maybe one of their savvy mac and cheese bowls.
Or Mike's personal favorite, their delightful mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah, they are such a delight.
That's savory gravy.
When you got to put that much gravy on your paper product to eat it. Like if I eat copious amounts of paper, I feel like that's what those.
I still think we need to do a blind taste test of
I'm down.
different instant mashed potatoes to see if you can tell the difference between KFC's mashed potatoes and just generic
Well,
Idahoan.
I don't like instant mashed potatoes
I understand
in
that.
general. They're all gross.
So this is where you and I part ways.
Yeah.
Because I am a man who loves an instant potato.
Well, and I don't know if the technology in instant potatoes have changed, but back in the day when I had them, it was literally that box of the flakes.
Yeah.
That you pour in with the milk or water or something.
It's not that bad anymore. It's all real potato. Like
Yeah.
it's all real like potato product, but it's like, dehydrated or freeze dried essentially to where you can just add the water. But I mean, I rarely have a good baked potato the same way I've enjoyed the Idahoan like garlic and herb or cheddar and garlic mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic. And those all come from a package.
You have the real ones.
Yeah,
and then you eat that nonsense. You're like, oh, I'm sorry. You eat a thing of real mashed potatoes and then pop a thing of that fake mess in your mouth, and it's not the same.
I'm starting to feel like I got the wrong takeaways from watching all those rations videos. It's like, why do I all of a sudden crave instant mashed potatoes and like heavy cream?
Yeah. It's literally saying which is better, real money or monopoly money. That's the argument fake mashed potatoes is trying to make right now.
By the way, in the chat, I agree, Ayana. KFC pot pies are absolutely fantastic.
I do enjoy a good KFC pot
Although,
pie.
you know what? I'm going to say this.
Do they still do them? I
Yes,
haven't done
they
them
do.
in a while.
This is infuriating about the KFC pot pie. There's no bottom crust. It's all top crust.
To be honest, I think if you make like a homemade traditional pot pie, there is no bottom crust. I think that's how it's supposed to be
It's
made.
just crust on top?
I think that's the
Okay.
traditional way.
All right,
I
maybe
think everyone else is wrong.
maybe I'm wrong. I
think. I mean, I'm not 100% on that, but I think if you make it the homemade, you don't make it looking like an actual pie.
Right.
It's
I just expect to have more carbs in my in my diet.
well, and that being said, when you get like a frozen Banquet or Marie Callender or Hunger Man pot pie and throw that bad boy, the crust to innard ratio is off. There's too much crust to innard.
It
So
depends on
removing
which one you get.
the bottom crust, I think would be actually. You know what? To be honest, I would keep both the top and the bottom crust. I get rid of the little rim, the little melding of the pot pie together.
Yep.
That little, you could get rid of that altogether because that little outer crust ruins pot pie for me.
Well, I feel like that's where you get that crusty.
Yeah, I don't like that. I like the gravy mixed
crumbly.
all in there. I don't want that dryness at all in my pot pie.
Well,
I
it
want-
doesn't stay dry if you mix it in with your moist
But if you
ingredients.
don't get enough gravy innards, you can't mix all that bread
That
in there
is
to
true.
get it all covered.
That is true.
That's the problem.
There's a real bad gravy
Trust me,
ratio.
I've got 50 years of science studying these pot pies, and I know.
That's where the money is in pot pie manufacturers, the gravy process. So
That's right. And by the way, my one seed, turkey pot pie. I love chicken, but I'll grab a turkey over chicken. I don't know what it is. Something about the mouthfeel of a turkey bite just feels right in a pot pie.
Mouthfeel of a turkey bite. See, that's why people come to this morning show, for quality content like that.
That's right.
Well, and obviously curb appeal.
Yeah, right. Because of our hot looks.
That's it.
Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We got the folks from Richland joining us here. To be honest, I'm not sure.
I'm hearing
in our
voices.
studio.
So
yeah, they're here. I'm just not sure who's here. So we'll have the folks from Richland join us here in just a bit. Give us an update what's happening at Richland.
Inside baseball. I'm not recording anything else today, am I?
Negative.
Okay.
Not that I've been made aware of.
Neat.
Chavis County Manager Bill Williams will join us in the 8 o'clock hour and talk about County Commission meeting, which took place yesterday.
I still think he needs to take my advice and switch it up and go by Will Williams.
Why not? We can ask again.
It's hanging right there, man. It's 2024. It's time to reinvent yourself.
I just go Bill Squared, B2.
But you could even change it up if you ever decide to get into pro wrestling or even just you want to fancy up your name. You can call yourself Will Billions.
And think about, because everyone has to have logos and they're a brand now. You can come up with so many great ones with the Bill Squared, 2 bills, something like that.
Double bill.
2 bills. You can be a rapper easy. Anyway, whatever you call him, County Manager Bill Williams will be joining us here in the 8 o'clock hour. I hope he's hearing it laughing again. All right, good. Not, I'll hear about it later.
All right.
And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we're going to replay our interview. Lauren Dickinson with the Roswell Refuge joined us. They've got their That 70s Dance coming up next weekend, so you still got time to get in on that. That's their big fundraiser for the refuge and for their victims of sexual assault, their same program. So we'll play that interview for you here about 9:15.
Yes.
It looks like you have something.
Oh, not while we're on the air.
You have the, I got something to say. I got something to say.
I thought of content today. No, it's nothing. Nothing important. I do, however, next hour want to talk about something I watched last evening that was rather interesting.
Okay.
It's been on on Hulu for a few years, but I finally checked it out, and it's really good.
Okay.
But we'll dive in later.
I am intrigued. All right, it is 7:22. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cool temperatures for the upcoming weekend and maybe a little bit of rain. Mix of sun and clouds today, low to mid 70s. And then tonight some showers will be possible, low 50s. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms coming up for Saturday. It'll be a cloudy day and our high near 60. Maybe a shower Saturday night, then a mix of sunshine and clouds and upper 60s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 48 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 71% with winds out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Pretty nice today. Mostly sunny. 74 for a high, so a little cooler. Not as hot as yesterday. Winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 15 miles per hour later today. Tonight, late, not early evening, but overnight, we have a 30% chance at showers. Increasing clouds overnight with the overnight low of 52 degrees. Winds will be breezy out of the southeast, 10 to 20 miles per hour. And that brings in tomorrow, which if we need moisture, looks like we're going to get some. 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms pretty much throughout the day, morning and into the afternoon. Skies will be cloudy for the day, high of 61 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the northeast, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, we're looking at a 30% chance at showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy. 47 for an overnight low with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny skies, mid-60s, 65 for a high with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then Monday, when you head back to work and school and all that, mostly sunny, 82 for a high there. All right, it is 7:24. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we'll talk with the folks from Richland on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
Whether you're a homeowner, a landscaper, or a contractor, we all have reasons to dig. If you're planning to dig, this is just a friendly reminder that locating underground utilities is important. It's actually the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig. New Mexico Gas Company is one of the utilities that will come out free of charge to mark our underground lines up to the meter, so you'll know what's below. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop invites you to move on in and check out the fantastic selection of threads, fabrics, and patterns. Take advantage of a huge sale on Brother sewing machines. If you just want to tune up on your own machine, bring it on over for in-house maintenance. And with free lessons at the Calico Cow, you can learn from some of the absolute best. Let's keep the tradition and art of sewing going. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell, right behind Farley's. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF. Or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion. Unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:28, and joining us in studio this morning, we have the Richland Dodge boys joining us back this morning. Brady and Scott with us. Morning, fellas.
Morning.
How y'all doing?
Awesome.
How's life at Dodge store this morning? Busy? Been pretty busy? I imagine when the weather gets nice, you get busier, don't you? People like to walk around and look at things when the weather's nice. So when it's like this, I imagine people are more wanting to walk around lots and kick tires and things.
There's some lot traffic, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's just that time of year. It's like, hey, it's nice out, and then of course, it gives you excuse to like smell new car for like 10 to 20 to 30 different times, depending on how many times you want to check out a car. You know, it's, it's like, all right, it's kind of fun. So perfect weather for some car shopping season right now.
Yeah,
so.
no, it's nice. It's nice having people around, out enjoying the weather.
And the good news is there's like deals and incentives going on. Like we're busting out of the post-COVID world, and I'm not saying we're pre-COVID numbers yet. We're not there, but we're certainly a lot better than we were a year, 2, 3 years ago. And now it's looking much more like the normal car buying world, where interest rates are starting to get more into manageable numbers again. Selection, variety, the amount of vehicles available is tenfold better than it used to be. Things are good right now. If you're looking for a car, this is probably a good time to do some shopping and take advantage of some good sales and deals that now, because there's demand and supply and everything else, it forces like you saying the Dodges and the Jeeps and these guys to all right, we got to put incentives and start putting our packages on these different vehicles. So it's all back, folks. It's happening, and all the deals and stuff you could get and negotiate pre-COVID, we're starting to see again. So
yeah, you definitely don't have to buy it before it gets there.
Yeah,
we've got plenty of stuff you can come check out, and if for some reason you don't like what we got, we can go get it, or you can order it. It's almost back to normal.
That's what I was saying. Is that because that's kind of one of the I don't know if it's one of the positives that came out of COVID was people found the world of custom ordering vehicles, where you know what I mean, where most of us, unless you were, and this was thought of the people who are affluent or money, or it's like, okay, I'm going to pick my car, I'm going to pick the interior, the exterior, all the bells and whistles, the wheels, the big size engine. I'm going to pick every aspect of this vehicle I chose. Most of us think of that as bougie. Oh, it's too for rich people. I don't have that kind of pull to do that. And COVID taught us no. It's no different. You just pick since we're waiting anyway, let's pick the one. Let's make the one you want.
A good example. Just this month alone, we had a nice classic barebone Jeep come in with crank windows and manual door locks. We also had a $100,000 392 Wrangler come in. And those are both custom orders. So you can get a little bit of anything.
Well, I'm going to argue Jeep is the only Wrangler world. Jeep is the only world where you're going to have customers that request bare bones. You're like, most don't want more bells and whistles, but sometimes Wrangler owners are like, nope, less is more with me. I want metal wheels and a steering wheel, and that's all I need.
Shoot, we just ordered a right-hand drive Jeep a couple weeks ago.
Really?
That'll be here pretty soon. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that was a custom order as well.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
Is that for the post office, or are they taking it to England?
Yeah, somebody had a mail route, and they ordered it, yep.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I never thought to custom order a car. You can put the steering wheel on the other side for me.
Yeah.
I thought, like, the post office in England, the only people who did that kind of stuff. In Australia, of course. Forget our Australian friends.
Yeah.
But cool. But well, good. I'm assuming they're post, or they just want to go about their day messing with the entire public population. I think. I can see that too. I would be that guy too. Like, yeah, if I get enough people going, give me double takes all day, then it's worth it. Let's do it.
just slap a frequent stop sticker back there. And
That's right. Find a way to put one of those school bus stop signs and pop out on the side. You can customize Jeeps any way you want to. That's the beauty of Jeep. But as far as like right now, I mean, you notice if you drive by the Dodge, every time I'm going to and back and forth Artesia, you always seem to pass the Dodge store there, and you always notice I'm looking, and because I'm that guy, I'm always, how many Jeeps are on the line here today? How many Gladiators are on the line? And more and more days I'm going, oh, full, it's full. Look, more is full, and the lot's starting to look like it's getting to a point where you guys are starting to have the issue of like, all right, we need to park the cars a little bit closer together. We'll squeeze one more vehicle on the lot here. Kind of thing. We're getting to that point.
No, you touched on the Wranglers, and we're stocked up on those right now.
Good.
I mean, anywhere from base models to the higher end models, and that.
And that's just it. And so like, and this is like me, because I'm a Jeep guy, and we talked about this before, and that's been my vehicle, and I finally, when I hit my 40s, get a point where I could comfortably afford one and do it. And but that's the thing is Jeeps are, once you're in that club there and everything, it's like a whole world. And then I almost recommend your first Jeep is bare bones, and then because Jeeps are meant to be customized. That's just, you got to put your stank on it. That's really, Jeeps are all about putting your stank on it. It really is. And so you bare bones it, and then you're like, okay, now I don't have to take off what they thought. I'm going to put my bumper on. I'm going to put the wheels I like. I'm going to put, and so
accessories are endless.
So if you're looking to keep this and make it something you expand and grow with, buy the bare bones and get that and start there and then customize. But if you're more, I just want to get in it, look good, then they got more bells and whistle ones. It's like, I love that concept, but I just want to get in the thing, drive up the street and look and turn heads. I don't need to go spend time turning wrenches. I just want to get in it and go. Then they got you that.
On that note, too, when you buy from Richland, you become a brand champion. You get discounts on parts and accessories.
Absolutely, yeah. And so if you want to do the customization work there, I know, like with my Jeep, since I've since I've owned it, I've had through Richland, I've had the complete new bumper put on. I got a more sportier bumper, and
Nice.
I've got a couple other little things like that, some eyelets and things that make it look pretty, but not functionally per se, just stuff that looks good.
We don't just got Jeeps. We got all the used cars down there too.
Absolutely. If you're looking for your more fuel efficient vehicles or something to, like where we're getting to graduation, all that, you start buying kids cars for college. Now's the time to be looking on the lots for those kind of vehicles on the pre-owned side. Or if you're looking brand new, if you want to get them in something like a Dart or something that's more fuel efficient if they got to do a lot of traveling.
Yeah, no, we got a handful of economic fuel economy cars, sedans, SUVs, all under like 25,000.
Yeah,
so
it's really a good time to come in, and so and this is something just from my personal experience to know about Richland and the Dodge boys here. Yeah, you guys will work with them every step of the way, working on stuff, but it's very non-pressure. It's not like you get the deals or you walk, like you always have those images. You walk onto the lot and then 37 people swarm you. Richland, you guys are pretty chill about that stuff. It's like, hey, we'll be here. We'll do anything you want, but come in when you can. We're a very relaxed atmosphere, kind of. I joke, but I'm not joking. You catch them at the right time, you'll be part of lunch. I mean, it literally is. You come in, it's like, all right, we're having lunch. Sit down, have a sandwich with us. It's literally like that sometimes. So, please understand, it's a family-like experience, and it's all part of the, like you mentioned, the brand champion program with the parts and all. That's a continuation of that. Look, you guys are always saying we're not trying to sell you this vehicle. We want to be the person you come to every time you need a vehicle.
Yeah,
so,
we're your car guy, not your car salesman. You guys need anything service related, even just an issue, something that's not even on our lot, we're here to help.
Yeah, and so that's why things like the champion program and all that it's designed for that, where we want you. When you sign all the contracts and everything and drive this vehicle on the lot, we're not done with you. It's not like, all right, good luck to you.
Yeah,
it's
you're
like,
part of the brand at that point.
Exactly. Now you come in and say, hey, we'll see in a few months for the oil change. And and if you want to do any customization, or if you want to do it, or if something you're not satisfied with, come in and let's get that sucker fixed, and we'll take care of you.
Yeah, and the biggest thing about buying from Richland is our brand champion program, and the biggest incentive a lot of people don't know is the powertrain for life. On qualified new and used vehicles, you'll have a powertrain warranty for life on your vehicle.
Absolutely.
As long as you do your maintenance, that's recommended by the manufacturer with Richland. We'll always maintain that for you.
Yeah, and that's easy to do.
Mind.
You send your reminders, of course. When you purchase your vehicle, your sales rep is kind of also your Sherpa, and will send you reminders every. Hey, about time to schedule that service appointment. Maybe we'll come in, or hey, is there anything going on we can help you with? That there is that follow on. I mean, Malcolm, I bought my Jeep going on 6 years ago. I still get emails from. He's over at the GM store. I still get emails. So the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's all about maintaining that relationship.
Yeah,
even after you buy the vehicle. That's what we're there.
So come down, check it out. See, as far as brand pickups, how are they looking right now? I know they're always very popular. Big selection on the lot right now. Or
last month we had that re-invoice on the vehicles, so vehicles went down anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000, depending on what trim level it was. So
they're coming back to where people, because that's another thing too.
Their prices are aggressive now.
And I get it, because you're like, and this is Southeast New Mexico. You need a truck sometimes, depending on your job, and you're like, I need a truck, but I ain't got $90,000 for a truck. You know what I mean? It's like, man, am I buying a semi truck or a pickup? And the prices were getting up, but now they're getting back to where they're, prices you can deal with and work with. If you've got a working budget, then you can get a truck now.
Yeah, and a lot of entry-level trucks, too, like the tradesmen, rubber floors. So I know a lot of commercial companies, they're looking for those vehicles.
Well, they got to get them dirty, and they don't want to get them. They don't want them too nice. I've been busy everyone going back to the car wash to vacuum it out every day just to get it fixed. But
it's made a difference. The Roswell and surrounding areas kept us pretty busy.
Yeah. Well, and this is something too we've talked about GM and on the Dodge side here with Richland is and this is something people should never forget. This is one of those, don't forget. Remember when?
Yeah.
During COVID.
Yeah.
We all know the world we lived in, and we know about, supply and demand got crazy. If new vehicles did come in, dealers were marking them up as much as they wanted to because they could.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a demand for it, and people were paying those prices. There was some people doing it. And Richland could have jumped on board and did the same thing and see if they can make a nut doing that. But the Richland philosophy was the opposite of that. They said, no, we're going to procure these. We're going to sell them at whatever the sticker MSRPs or whatever they suggest. And we're going to go hunt and do this kind of stuff. And you found, and this is something Richland found out, your customer base went from pretty much southeast New Mexico to southeast U.S. and because dealers across the region were gouging people and doing things like that. And Richland was literally that beacon in the storm saying, you know what, now we're not going to be screwing people. Come, we'll get you a deal. And you worked with people throughout the pandemic. And I imagine you got a bigger customer base of people in like Arizona and Texas right now because of that pandemic and what you guys did. And so I always like to remind people that it's like, look, you want to know who's really at your back, who got your back, and what happens when the chips come down. Look what they do when the pressure's on, and look what Richland did when the pressure was on. And now that times are better, it's time to reward that behavior. That's the way I see it. But people do you. But that's the way that if people ask my opinion, that's the kind of thing I tell them.
We're sticking with it too. You'd surprise me if you found a better price online in the surrounding area for a truck. So go to our website or come by and look. I mean, we're trying to be the best price out there right now.
Absolutely.
So.
It's about and of course through the websites, whether you're gonna, I know we're talking to the Dodge boys today, but if there's something on the GM lot that you love too, you can go to either website and do all your shopping in your underpants and look, and then you can kind of say, all right, there's like 3 or 4 vehicles I want to check out, and then kind of pop, and then roll on up. Weather's nice, and kick those tires, and they'll be happy to
make
talk.
sure you're not in your underpants. When
Yeah,
you come
put your
check
pants
them out.
on, or shorts at least. Put a short. Something that will not get you arrested when you walk out your door. Do that, and then come on down. Yeah. Although Scott will make you a deal if the pants are good.
Yeah, I take side bets.
Brady's like he'll hold up numbers behind him like 8. But yeah, just come check out and then of course pre-owned too. Like we said earlier, we're still in that world where people bought new vehicles in COVID, but they were the wrong color or the wrong seat type or something very cosmetic. And so they trade them back in to get the one with the brown, with the leather interior, whatever they wanted, which means you're sitting with a car that's a year or two old, that's probably got under 10,000 miles on it, sitting on the used side. That's a brand new car that you're not paying the sticker prices and all that stuff. So if you're looking for late model stuff, it's a good time to check the pre-owned lot too. So don't forget.
We actually got something pretty cool. Someone sold us a 2013 Challenger with only 4,850 miles on it, an RT 6-speed manual.
Garage kept or something?
Yeah,
how do you normally go for
Yeah.
it? Wow.
Yeah.
That was someone's baby. They let that sat in the garage, and they probably spent more hours polishing it than driving it.
Yeah. It just made it through the shop, so we're gonna.
Oh,
it should
sweet.
be on the lot today.
Oh, man.
Come check her out.
Wow. Yeah, you need to line that bad boy up right next to a 2024 model, just so we could just kind of compare and contrast and see what bells and whistles have been added in the what 11, 12 years since then. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. So so come. I imagine that one will last very long, especially for collectors and things like that.
Especially around this time with the weather getting nicer. I mean, this is the roll your windows down, go for a cruise type of weather.
It is exactly. That's right. It's a top down season for Jeeps and everybody else too, and the convertibles out there. And so come on down and come see the service side difference. I mean, when we talk about cars, and every car dealership has the cars on the lot, but really, what's the difference is how do they treat you when you walk there? What's the kind of stuff? And that's the difference you'll find, when it comes to cars. Yeah, sure. Everybody's got cars. What happens when you want to sell that car and service that car and do all that stuff? And that's the stuff I say, come check out Richland, let them earn you business on that stuff. Once you're in the champion program and all that, you're going to be like, oh, kind of like a club and perks, and I get to do things, and yeah, it is legitimately a great opportunity for, and the cool thing is it's kind of 2-in-1, because if you're a Richland brand champion and you've been driving your, let's say, Camaro for a while, and you're like, yeah, I want to get a Charger now, get a Jeep. Oh, you're still in the brand champion program. You're still there. It's all part of that too. So now Dodge Boys are like, yeah, you don't need that Camaro.
Well, we got a Camaro down there. Don't we?
This is on the used lot. Then we got one right over here. Come check it out.
We got you covered.
Yeah, but absolutely, come talk to the Dodge Boys and let them earn your business. Let them, and same with service, like you said. Once you're in that brand champion program, even if you're not, put the service department to work. If you got your vehicle now, you didn't buy it for Richland, but you need some work, no problem. They got you covered. They'll take care of you. But you might get a free oil change next time if you trade that bad boy in for a new car. But but either way, they'll service all makes and models, and I mean, I'm telling you, it's like I had an issue about a year or two ago where the battery finally died on my Jeep, and I was like, it happened at work, of course, right, the most inopportune time. So and it was like a Tuesday where I had to go to Artesian, do 20 other things, and I was like, oh man. So literally, I got to jump. I drove to Richland. They're like, yeah, we got you. Here's a new battery. Boom, boom, boom. It took 30 minutes out of my day to get in there, get a battery, and go about my day, and that's all part of that brand champion Richland. It saved my bacon that day. That's the kind of service you get, and that was 5 years later. After, I mean, how long a battery life is? It was a while away. So that again, proof in the pudding of what I'm talking about here. So good deal. Is there anything we didn't cover? Anything incentives? Anything we wanted to mention that I just got spaced on or didn't talk about?
I mean, really, everything has an incentive down there.
Does it?
With the dealer discount on top of it. So
Excellent.
There's lots of savings.
So if you need a Jeep or a Dodge or a Chrysler, it don't matter. They're all got incentives or cash back options or both right now here too. So some of those Jeep ones, I know we talked a couple weeks ago, are some of those Jeep Wrangler incentives still take advantage of, or are those starting to wrap up now?
I believe on the 4xEs, right, Scott?
Yeah. Your best deals on Wranglers are going to be leases right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So come ask us about a lease.
Excellent. Yeah, that's another great option. Another way to maybe have you afford a vehicle that you couldn't afford before too, is through a lease option. That's and it's the one thing with leasing, and that's something you tell everybody, is that you just gotta, if you drive a lot of miles, you're gonna have to pay for that.
Yeah. Well, and they have programs to where you could look at your driving habits from the past and get the exact mileage.
Get it to where it works into your habits, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah. But, for most of us, though, we don't come close. Like, I know, like, I've leased and my wife leased, and matter of fact, the car she has was a lease that she bought, but we never came close to the limits on the miles. I think you get like, I don't even remember, it was like 25,000 or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was plenty for us. But if you are one of those people that drive 200 miles a day, then that might be something we need to talk about. Which in New Mexico is not uncommon sometimes. So we get that. But regardless, Dodge Boys will work with you and said, like you said, oh, you do drive that? All right. Well, there is some plans where we can get that and make it fit in your budget and do all that, where you can drive this thing 100,000 miles and not get dinged with the overage fees and all that kind of stuff. There's ways to work all that stuff. And the cool thing about leasing is you kind of get a new car every couple of years. You know what I mean? That's kind of that's a perk for me. If you're one of those people that likes a new car every couple of years and think, leasing's probably a better option for you too, because that way it's like, okay, a 3-year lease, got my car, about 3 years, I'm about tired of this thing, I'm ready for a new one. Roll it on in, pick out a new one.
Well, and then if you loved it, you got the option of buying it right back.
Or vice versa. You say, yeah, no, I don't want to give this bad boy up. All right, let's buy this. Let's make it yours. And by the way, you usually get pretty good incentives and deals on buying your vehicle, and as far as rebates and things, and again, because part of being, hey, you've been with us 3 and you want to buy it now. All right. Well, we're gonna give you our friends and family work on this one to get that to happen for you. So that's again part of the Richland experience and everything there too. So come in if you're looking for brand new, fuel efficient, the biggest honkingest truck on the planet, or whatever, or something in between. The folks at Richland got you covered. So good deal. We get it all?
Yeah, I think so. The last thing I would say is Roswell's been keeping us busy. We had to bring in another team, so we've got 3 teams over there now.
Oh, God.
We'd like to welcome Tiffany Edwards.
Okay.
Some of you guys might know her from the car business already. She's been in it for a while.
All right.
And Dominic Conde. He just started yesterday on Tiffany's team.
All right. So welcome to the Richland team here.
Yeah.
And
welcome to Richland. And if you guys know him, come by and say hi and make them feel welcome. And
that's right.
And it's always good to have some fresh faces.
Let them show you some vehicles. And, and they can buy you lunch. Oh, new guy buys lunch. That's the rule, right?
They've already sold a car. That means we're getting donuts at the morning meeting.
Yeah,
on Saturday,
you sell a car, your first car, you're bringing donuts on Saturday.
Nice. All right. Well, hopefully you get lots of donuts. I think every Saturday you should get donuts. Very good. We'll get there early Saturday morning, have a donut with them tomorrow. And then when you're done eating donuts, you go walk the lot. See if we can make some more donuts. Very good. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. We'll see y'all next time. Okay?
Oh, sir. Thank you.
All right. Don't work too hard. Stay dry tomorrow and cool today. All right. It is 7:50. Let's pause for news, your Kim Commando update, sports, and a couple commercials to pay for lunch. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Livestock Board, in conjunction with the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Veterinary Services Laboratory, have confirmed the presence of highly pathogenic avian influenza at a poultry facility in eastern New Mexico. Initial testing of the facility was performed on April 10th for the presence of HPAI. Further testing was needed to confirm the presence of HPAI at the facility. All birds on the infected premises are being depopulated. The board did not publicly identify the facility. The Roswell Police Department is again part of National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, with this month's event being held at a different location than in past years. Instead of hosting at the police department, RPD will partner with Walgreens to host the event at the company's South Roswell store on Saturday, April 27th. Members of RPD will be at the store at 1200 South Main Street from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., when the public can bring unwanted or unneeded prescription drugs to the Take Back Day event. The service is free, and those bringing prescription drugs can always remain anonymous. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Caregiving is a rewarding experience, but it also has its challenges. One way to make it easier is by using smart plugs. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Accelerate your AI workload today. Take a test drive at oracle.com/Kim. Smart plugs turn ordinary items like lamps and fans into smart gadgets. Instead of plugging whatever directly into a wall outlet, you plug it first into a smart plug and then the wall outlet. This way, you can control things right from your smartphone. It's a game changer, especially if tasks like turning off a light or TV are difficult for your loved ones. You can check if things are on or off without needing to be in the same room, or even when you're out of the house. These plugs can be also set up to turn on and off automatically at certain times. This can help prevent accidents like tripping in the dark or leaving an appliance on too long. A simple smart plug can make a big difference in maintaining independence and safety for your loved ones while giving you peace of mind. Get more tech smarts with my free newsletter at getkim.com. Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, and evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now. Ghosting. Defined as a friend not responding to a text, or worse, a lover. Or maybe you just read someone's social media post, but you never hit that follow. Don't be a ghoster. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, go to my profile and follow me. My posts are the best. You're going to sound smarter. You're going to know the moment a data breach happens. So when you're laying in bed tonight scrolling through social media, find me everywhere at Kim Commando. Remember, it's not Kim Kardashian. It's me, the other, well, smaller Kim. Kim Commando.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cool temperatures for the upcoming weekend and maybe a little bit of rain. Mix of sun and clouds today, low to mid 70s. And then tonight some showers will be possible, low 50s. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms coming up for Saturday. It'll be a cloudy day and our high near 60. Maybe a shower Saturday night, then a mix of sunshine and clouds and upper 60s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaffetz County Sports Report. We got a lot of baseball and softball going on. As far as the softball is concerned, Goddard will be hosting Portales in a doubleheader starting this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Roswell, meanwhile, will be on the road playing at Carlsbad, a district doubleheader starting at 4:30. But let's talk about some baseball that happened yesterday. Goddard took care of business at Lovington by a score of 8-5. That means that Goddard wins the first 3 games of the district season, all of them over Lovington. Goddard's now 15-5 and 3-0 in district play. Ryan Alsop and Ross Stokes had 2 RBIs each. Next up for the Rockets, they'll be playing at Portales next Thursday. And meanwhile, Roswell wins on the road at Hobbs 10-0. Noah Lynn with a home run, Jackson McDonald with a double and 2 RBIs. Jace Griffin, a sophomore, worked 5 innings for the shutout. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits was unchanged at a low level last week, pointing to continued labor market strength that is driving the economy. Prospective home buyers are facing higher costs to finance a home, with the average long-term U.S. mortgage rate moving above 7% this week to its highest level in nearly 5 months. Workers at a Mercedes-Benz factory in Vance, Alabama, will vote between May 13th and May 17th on whether to join the United Auto Workers Union. That's according to the National Labor Relations Board. Alaska Airlines forecasts stronger than expected earnings in the current quarter on the back of a pickup in business travel demand, sending its shares higher. The airline, the operator of the Boeing plane that suffered a mid-air cabin blowout in January, also reported a smaller loss in the first quarter. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Check out some of the Dollar Days bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select bottles of Food Club barbecue sauce are $1 each, and select varieties of Kellogg's breakfast cereals are 2 for $10. In produce, snack-sized mangoes are 2 for $1, and large cantaloupe are $2 each. In the meat department, family packs of choice boneless beef arm roast are $4 a pound, and family packs of bone-in sirloin cut pork chops are just $1 a pound. These are some of the Dollar Days savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water-diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating 2 companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Do you feel like there's something missing in your life? I challenge you to find someone who seems to be at peace no matter what good or bad is happening in their life. I would almost bet that person has found Jesus. In the Bible, there's a man named Zacchaeus who was a tax collector for the Romans. He was a Jew, but he worked for the enemy. He knew Jesus was in town and wanted to see who he was, but because he was short, he couldn't see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a tree to see Jesus. Jesus saw him and told him to come down because he was going to his house for dinner. The holy people didn't like this very much, as Zacchaeus was seen as a sinner and a traitor. But because of his encounter with Jesus, Zacchaeus said he would repay 4 times over any he had cheated and give half of what he had to the poor. Jesus told him that salvation came to his house that day. This man was seen as the worst of the worst, but when he found Jesus, all was forgiven. Jesus can do the same for you. Let's help you find Jesus and the forgiveness and peace that he promises.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. An apparent Israeli drone attack on a major air base near the central Iranian city of Isfahan activated Iranian air defenses early today, described by observers as a limited strike. Our military affairs analyst, retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis, says that's understandable.
Israel did not want to provoke a larger regional war. They already have a war with Hamas in Gaza and with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, not to mention the Houthis.
The strike came in response to last weekend's Iranian drone and missile strikes on Israel, and that was in response to an attack on an Iranian diplomatic compound in Syria, an attack that Tehran blamed on Israel. State TV reports Iranian air defenses shot down a number of drones, and that drones were seen in the air over several provinces. At the request of the Columbia University president, the NYPD moved in to clear pro-Palestinian protesters from campus yesterday. More than 100 people arrested at the so-called Gaza Solidarity encampment. A dozen jurors have been seated to hear former President Trump's criminal trial in New York. Outside the courtroom, Mr. Trump holding up a sheaf of papers, media accounts that he says are critical of the proceedings.
These are all, every single one. I haven't seen one that says it's a good trial. It's political. This is the Wall Street Journal editorial, and it's a shame.
The conservative House Freedom Caucus is blasting Speaker Mike Johnson, who the caucus says relied on Democrat votes to, quote, ram his foreign wars package with zero border security through the Rules Committee. And the caucus complains that a speaker has never used the minority to steamroll his own party in the Rules Committee. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow is trading 179 points higher, the Nasdaq down 62 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Millions of Indians are voting in a 6-week election that's a referendum on Hindu nationalist Prime Minister Modi.
There are 166 million eligible voters in just this first phase of voting, more than the combined populations of the UK and France. In power for the last decade, these elections will decide if India's current Prime Minister Narendra Modi will keep his job. Recent polling suggests the economy, issues of unemployment and inflation are front and center in the minds of voters. It will take 6 weeks for voting to be complete in the world's largest democracy. The results of India's general election are expected on the 4th of June.
The BBC's Samira Hussein. Ukraine's Air Force claims it shot down a Russian strategic bomber. But Moscow says the plane crashed today in a sparsely populated area due to a malfunction after a combat mission. Neither claim can be independently verified. News and analysis at townhall.com. Operations are disrupted at one California airport, and AT&T says it knows why.
Flights at the Sacramento International Airport were delayed for hours Thursday due to an internet outage caused by someone cutting AT&T wires. Charges could range from felony vandalism to more severe charges depending on the motive behind it. In a statement, AT&T said it restored the internet and wireless service following a fiber cut, which they say appears to be an act of vandalism or attempted theft.
That's correspondent Tasha Stevens. BNSF railway attorneys expected to argue before jurors if the railroad should not be held liable for the lung cancer deaths of 2 former residents of an asbestos-tainted Montana town. Closing arguments scheduled today in a civil lawsuit against the railroad. It's the town of Libby, Montana. It's among the deadliest sites on the Federal Superfund Register. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Yes, sir.
Finally Friday. We made it. 'Tis the day we all been working for.
Indeed it is.
For the weekend, I guess.
Well, except for you shift workers.
Lover boy.
Gotta feel bad about that.
Yeah.
Although folks who work the 7 to 3s, 3 to 11s, 11 to 7s.
Yeah, but they get the thing when we're all going to work. They're like, hey, have a good day.
I never get to say this is my Friday. That's like a phrase that doesn't exist in my world.
Yeah.
So, enjoy that. You get to, enjoy watching us walk to work, go to work on a Tuesday.
And having been on both sides of the coin, I can appreciate some of the shit.
Absolutely. There's pros and cons.
Yeah, there is.
Like, I can't pay a bill to save my life half the time. Luckily, I work in radio, and so our hours are a little different. I have some of the business hours available to me, so I can go to the bank, get some stuff done before everything closes.
Yeah.
But
the big problem with being a shift work person is all your friends aren't.
Yeah.
And so life is either you don't sleep or you don't have a life. There's, you know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things.
You gotta sync up with your fellow your fellow shifters.
Yeah, because at 2 a.m. when you're good to go, they're all like, "It's call it a night." And you're like, "My day just started.
I'm just getting going." What do you mean? Wrap it up.
I had breakfast for dinner every day.
That being said, 3 a.m. Like the 3 a.m. hour is the weirdest hour to be awake that there could possibly be.
3 and 4, yeah.
4 can be justified because 4 is like, those people who wake up early to work out or who go to work early or who get,
and
like
if
myself.
I remember right, like the coldest parts of the night are in the 4 a.m. hour.
Yeah, the coldest and darkest too.
Which means the most ominous feel.
But that 3 a.m. hour is such a weird time. Like, I used to do graveyards over at Allsup's, and it was just you'd see the weirdest people coming in at 3 a.m.
It's only bad if you're not busy. Because I had both, where I was in the Air Force and it'd be 3 a.m, And if I'm humping on a job,
right,
then I don't even notice. It's
Oh,
just,
sure.
just do it. But when there's no work and we're just literally sitting in the office waiting for day shift to come in.
Which was my gig at Allsup's, because nobody's shopping at 3 a.m. It's either I'm either in the cooler doing, cola stock or, doing cigarette count or something.
Yeah.
And just, there's nothing going on except people coming in, and the people that are coming in to buy aluminum foil and baking soda.
Right. But the part that got me was especially my early time in the Air Force, where I was I was always, but like when I was like a one striper and trying to get my two stripe, so literally, that when it hits the 3 a.m, you want to sit, like, you're just, hey, I just want to sit and shoot the bull for a little bit. And now they're like, you got free time? Getting your CDCs. Go, what? And that's you're studying for your journeyman status and all that.
Got time to lean, got time to study.
Exactly. So and so for me in those early days, it was like, all right, you can't sit here and just stare at the walls. You gotta open your CDC book and start getting. And in all fairness, it does help because I aced my thing and I got my 5 level pretty easily. And my job was different than because a weapons troop, and damn it, I got inside.
I know, and I didn't even do it this time.
Yeah, I know.
Like you walked into it honestly on this one.
I did.
I was talking about shift work.
But like when like for a crew chief is a guy. The crew chief is a person that is in charge of the maintenance of a particular aircraft. It's like their plane. Like you hear things like the pilot will be like, yeah. My name's on the plane, but this is the crew chief's plane. He just lets me fly. Mentality. That's what. But a crew chief, that job, when they take for their journeyman to get on to their next level of maintenance and all that, they only have to test on the aircraft of which they're assigned to. So if they're working on F-16s, then they got to know about F-16s.
That's all. But you have to know stem to stern, top to bottom, front to back.
Exactly. For weapons guys, because we in theory get load on any aircraft. It just depends on what base they send us to. I had to study every single aircraft in the United States Air Force inventory that carries any kind of munition, chaff or flare, or any of that kind of stuff. So I even had to know crap about cargo planes, even though I don't load cargo planes, but they have chaff and flare. So I had to know about that to pass the test. And so weapons guys know more about. So that's why when you talk to weapons guys, they're like, "Oh, the A-10 does this," and that, because we have to know all.
You have to know the gamut of
because that's
weapons.
to advance to the next.
That makes
thing.
sense because
I got to know how the gun and the 30 mil gun in the A-10 works just as much as the 2 bombs I loaded on a stealth fighter, even though I never dealt with one, but I had to know it for testing. So it's a little different. So I had to spend a lot of time learning about things that I never actually saw or did.
Shift work.
Bill Williams, Chavis County Manager, going to join us here this hour. He was wondering what we're going to talk about.
Craig Birch checking in saying 3 a.m. is the best time. Iona saying it's the witching hour. It's
Greg
both
knows.
those things.
Greg.
Although, in fairness,
Greg doesn't sleep. So
it's the stillness, the quiet of the night. I get that.
I do appreciate that when everyone's like, I truly don't feel I have me time unless it's like 3 a.m. and there's, you know what I mean?
Homie, I got kids. I know exactly, what you mean.
Yeah, I get that. I'm like, it's my time. It's my time. If I want to sit here and do nothing, ain't no one to tell me different. Or if I want to do something, ain't no one to tell me different.
There you
go. And there is a certain special feeling there. So I get that 3 a.m. feel because I too know that feeling. But at the same time, I also get that it's like, everyone's like, yeah, you want to go to the lake? We're going to go at 7 a.m. Like, dude, I just got home. I want to go to bed.
I just want to stare at the backside of my eyelids.
Just got home. Watch Jerry Springer and go to bed. Because that was my routine back then. I had my dinner/breakfast, watched Jerry Springer, and I went to bed.
There you go. That's the essentials. It's basically the 4 food groups. Jerry Springer, microwave burrito, bedtime.
And this reminds me of a quick story from the Jerry Springer days.
Okay. I was like, no more military.
Yeah, no, it's not military.
I can't take anymore.
And I've got to be very, very careful because this one creeps on outside of family
it's
show.
A Springer story. Of course it does.
So one day I was watching Jerry Springer. I did just like I normally do. Got my eggs, my omelet, my bacon. I'm sitting there. All right, Jerry time. Turn on Jerry. 9 o'clock kicks. Jerry Springer kicks on. And in the first episode, the first part of the episode. I'm watching it, and it's an episode about people marrying animals.
Okay.
Like one guy's marrying a horse, dog.
Sure.
You couldn't. Well, somebody halfway through that episode said, "What are we showing on TV?" Because literally halfway through Jerry Springer, a different episode of Jerry Springer, Jerry Springer showed up.
What?
I don't know if it was the New Mexico affiliate that did it, or if it was a national thing. Like, why is this on the thing? I told you to yank this one. But I literally saw half an episode about people marrying animals, and then next thing you know,
wow. It was back to their
normal cheating, fighting, and what they normally do.
That's not your meat. This is my meat.
And I was like, what just happened? I was like, I want to know about the guy on the horse.
Right? You're never going to get to see the back half of that episode. You really should go back and look. I mean, there's whole stories you missed.
Yeah. But I'll never. That was the weirdest thing. I was like, they literally pulled Jerry Springer for another Jerry Springer.
That's awesome. I'm gonna save it for next hour, but
I forgot about that.
That's okay. But this documentary that I watched last night, it's basically about a show that it was way before its time.
Yeah.
And if it was put out today by today's sensibilities, I feel like it would have flown.
Yeah.
We'll dive in.
All right. Tease for next hour.
Yes, sir.
It is 8:15. Let us take you on a journey with your weather. It's a weather journey. Enjoy.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cool temperatures for the upcoming weekend and maybe a little bit of rain. Mix of sun and clouds today, low to mid 70s. And then tonight some showers will be possible, low 50s. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms coming up for Saturday. It'll be a cloudy day and our high near 60. Maybe a shower Saturday night, then a mix of sunshine and clouds and upper 60s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 49 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 69% with winds currently out of the north at 10 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today and 74 for a high, even though it's a little cloudy right now. But that will change. Winds will be out of the east, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, the rain chances enter the forecast. 30% chance of rain. Don't wait up for it. They're talking about 4 a.m. They're expecting it to roll in, so that's past the witching hour. Winds will be increasing, or clouds will be increasing. 52 for an overnight low with southeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, we are looking at a 50% chance at showers and thunderstorms pretty much all day. 4:10, after 10 for the afternoon. All of that is what they're saying. Skies will be cloudy. 61 are expected high tomorrow with northeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're expecting anywhere from a quarter to a half inch of rain tomorrow is what they're calling for. We shall see. Saturday night, 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy. 47 for an overnight low. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, a slight chance, 20% chance of rain early, like before 7 a.m. But for the day, mostly cloudy. 65 for a high with southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then Monday, when you head back to work and school, mostly sunny skies, highs back in the low 80s, 82 expected high there. So just in time for the weekend plans for you to rain there a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't mess up. I know there's a golf tournament. There's a couple things going on. So hopefully that, of course, golfers, they don't care. They have to be drug off the course. Like, it's lightning, dude. You're about to get struck. Get off the course. You literally got to tell them that. So they don't care. All right. It is 8:17. We're going to take a 3-minute break. And then Chaves County Manager Bill Williams will join us on the other side, and we'll talk about yesterday's county commission meeting and other things happening around Eddy County, or Chaves County. Don't go away. Eddy County, too, if you want. I don't.
This is a nasty little termite. It loves nothing better than to eat your house, your subfloors, your walls, around your windows, and then they swarm around taunting you.
We're eating your house. We're eating your house.
You'd like to kill them, wouldn't you? But you don't want trenches dug around your home, and you don't want holes in your foundation. That's where Dow AgroSciences and the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System come to the rescue. The same system that protects the White House can help protect your house. An authorized operator strategically places Centricon stations around your house and then carefully monitors them for termites. If they're found, a professional inserts bait tube devices. The termites take the bait and they die.
I feel like I'm dying.
Kind of like that, only a lot more effective. In fact, Centricon is proven to eliminate the termite colony. Termites are gone with Centricon. No more colony, no more problem. Visit Centricon.com.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
Check out some of the Dollar Days bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select bottles of Food Club barbecue sauce are $1 each, and select varieties of Kellogg's breakfast cereals are 2 for $10. In produce, snack-sized mangoes are 2 for $1, and large cantaloupe are $2 each. In the meat department, family packs of choice boneless beef arm roast are $4 a pound, and family packs of bone-in sirloin cut pork chops are just $1 a pound. These are some of the Dollar Days savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Today we're going to give you the 5th key to a great marriage, taken from Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The 5th key is commitment, living the love you promised.
Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not get tired of doing what is right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." You know, one of the keys to commitment is just deciding in your heart, I'm never giving up on God, I'm never giving up on my marriage, I'm never giving up on my family.
Commitment is a promise made and kept by 2 imperfect people. It's good for our kids to see that problems happen and we're committed to solving them together.
If you want all 5 keys to a great marriage, you can go to our website at jomconference.com.
Artesia General Hospital's family practice providers support the healthcare needs of every member in your family, no matter their age. With locations in Artesia and Carlsbad, our compassionate experts offer a full range of primary services and can help manage chronic conditions, treat illness and injury, and coordinate specialty care. Whether you need a medical provider for your entire family or are getting on track with your annual checkup, we're here for you. Reach out today at artesiageneral.com/family.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, officially now, I guess you could say, but hanging out for a little bit here, Chavez County Manager Bill Williams with us this morning. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Thanks for having us again.
Anytime, as always, love having visits from you and chatting and talking about what's happening around the county.
In Chavez or Eddy County.
Or Eddy, yeah, we'll get you both. I haven't done that in a while. I've been, for a good 8 years, I was in Eddy County doing the morning show there at Artesia. So every once in a while, I slip in I had to earn their trust.
I'll be darned.
Because I lived in Roswell, and I'm from Maryland. And when you go do a morning show on the Artesia station and you're not a bulldog, it's strike one against you. So I had to kind of earn my keep and be an unofficial bulldog there for a little while and all that. And I still... Don't get me wrong, sports. I play Switzerland in sports here because I got friends in all of the rosters here. But yes, I had to wear the orange every Friday for a long time, and then come home and change it for fear of being ridiculed here in town.
Well, we were talking there during the break about the courthouse in Eddy County.
Yeah,
and I was telling you that an interesting little fact about the courthouse in Eddy County and the courthouse in Chavez County, they were both designed by the same architect.
Right.
And the architecture style of the Chavez County courthouse is the bow something, style.
Architects know what that means.
It's more of a southern style architecture with the domes and those kind of things.
Gotcha.
The Carlsbad courthouse was what's known as the Pueblo Revival style.
Okay.
And the architect that designed the courthouse in Roswell became known as the father of the Pueblo Revival style. He's designed a lot of things with vigas and the Spanish style.
So when people look for his stuff, they look to see what they're looking for what the Carlsbad courthouse looks
like.
Right.
And designed stuff in Santa Fe. They were from Pueblo. And so you see that style of architecture throughout our region. And our courthouse, as we said, is sort of an anomaly. They designed lots of things, but as it turns out, that was his wheelhouse, was the Pueblo Revival style, where you took the old-fashioned 200-300-year-old Pueblo thing and made it into a modern dwelling or commercial building like they did in Carlsbad.
Of course, ours has remnants of European a little bit on
some
of that. Yeah,
our courthouse is great. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But their courthouse is cool too.
But it's kind of interesting how two people, and then obviously the architect, who's really known more for, when people are looking up his work, they're expecting to see more like the Carlsbad courthouse, and so. We're that anomaly, odd thumb that sticks out a little bit, and hence probably the reason why you see the conservators and stuff, and much more attention in the architecture world to our courthouse.
And I assume a lot of it probably had to do also with the fact that in 1889 there was an act to create Chavez and Eddy County. We were both created out of New Mexico at the same time.
Yeah, because we were part of Lincoln.
Yes, that's correct. And I think. I'm not sure at the timeline of 1889. I'm pretty sure that they were Doña Ana County. Doña Ana went all the way across Lincoln, pretty much went all the way across.
But Chavez was part of Lincoln at the time. So, yeah.
And maybe a portion of Eddy County was a portion of Lincoln too, because they were huge counties. But
Which
anyway,
I always remind people when you watch like Young Guns and the Lincoln County Wars, like that's your history too. We were in Lincoln County then. Granted, when you talk about all the Chisholm stuff and all that, that was more out here in Roswell, not in Lincoln area.
Right.
So yeah.
So anyway, we all. Share some common roots in this part of the country.
Absolutely.
Including the people in Artesia.
Yeah. Well, and we were, the only reason that the conversation came out because the folks in Eddy County are, they're about to have some town hall meetings. I guess there's a proposed either renovation of that courthouse or a complete build of a new one. I'm not sure. I think they're deciding that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to decide. And what I've heard is that there's a big push towards a complete new facility, but they would not raise the old facility because
it's historical.
It's too historical, too much part of
so
Eddy County.
I wonder if they turn into a museum or something like that.
I don't know. They would have a lot of opportunities there.
Yeah.
It's a nice building.
I think it would
it's been well maintained, of course. It just doesn't meet their needs anymore.
Sure.
And we had the
They
same
outgrew
issue
it.
in Chavez County a little over 20 years ago. We were all still housed at the courthouse, and it served its purpose for nearly 100 years.
But it was built in a different time and meant for a different purpose. And
we just outgrew it. And our communities, of course, the population's grown. And so more things have to be done. More records have to be kept.
You look at the population 100 years ago and you look at it now and it's drastically different.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of, local community and ties to the community, I want to talk about some proclamations that we did.
Awesome.
First of all.
Excellent.
We did our annual Character Counts proclamation, and we do that during Character Counts Week every year.
Great program.
The pillars of character and all that are discussed, and they appoint, I guess, or I guess wouldn't be the right term, but they designate someone from a fire department, from a police department as a person representing that pillar of character.
Yeah, they get.
And so we did that one, and as a part of that, they gave the volunteer firefighter pillar or Character Counts Award to Monty Baker of the East Grand Plains Volunteer Fire Department. We also created a proclamation calling Monday, April 15th, Monty Baker Day in Chavez County. And the reason for that is Monty Baker has spent over 50 years on the East Grand Plains Volunteer Fire Department.
Wow.
Officially, he joined the Volunteer Fire Department in 1974. But if you know Monty Baker, you know that Monty is a person that is always, if he's interested in something, he's going to be there. He's going to learn everything there is to know about it. Oh my gosh, 50 years of experience building fire trucks, putting out fires, investigating fires, tobacco, firearms, the whole thing. I mean, he knows the explosives. He knows fire scene investigation. He knows fighting wildfires. He knows building trucks. You name it, he's got it. Emergency, medical, all those things he's done for 50 years.
In 50 years, he's done it all pretty much.
And we chose to honor him at the fire board meeting on Monday night.
That's a lot of years of service.
We have quarterly fire board meetings that are, of course, open to the public as well, but they had it at the Dexter Volunteer Fire Department on Monday night and presented him with his award. He got a gold axe designating 50 years of service. Since I've been at the county, that's only happened twice. People get a lot of years, but 50
is a big deal.
Is a big number of years.
Especially in the line of work he's done. I mean, let's face it, that's a lot. That's hard work. That's putting out fires, doing that's
it's hard work for a young guy and someone my age.
Do that for 50 years.
That is really difficult.
That is
Plus,
admirable.
He's a volunteer. He has a full-time job. He runs a business, a very successful local business. He's in agriculture. Of course, they grow pecans and all sorts of other things. Yeah. And yet he's never shirked any responsibility. I mean, he went into it with the right frame of mind. You know, I'm going to do this. I'm not just going to show up when it's convenient for me, whatever. You know, he is there all the time. He's held every office in the department. He's currently the chief and has been the chief.
Absolutely.
So,
and
real shout out to Monty Baker.
And my grandfather was a volunteer firefighter, so I kind of know the lifestyle, a little bit of that. And it's very family, but it's a life. It's not like another part-time volunteer gig where you do a couple hours a week and there, you know, it's a lifestyle. You live, breathe, eat, you know, those folks together. And
you might be eating and an alarm goes off and you drop your fork and you go and put out the neighbor's barn.
And so to do that that's hard enough for a paid firefighter that does that for a living. But to be the volunteer and, oh, by the way, I got to go run my business afterwards, that is so impressive.
You know, I was up all night putting out the neighbor's hay barn fire, but today I've got to harvest this crop.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's absolutely who he is and what he has done for 50 years. So
and you're always at beck and call of hearing the tones on a radio that you're carrying around. You live and die by that thing.
You know, it took me years to get used to people walk in and all of a sudden you hear, doo-doo-doo, what is that? And it's, I'm being toned out.
Going to visit my grandparents when those years when he was a volunteer firefighter. Oh my God, yeah, you'd be sitting there, all of a sudden you hear the tone. They'd have the big one upstairs. They had the mobile one here. It was all over the place.
And those tones pretty much all sound the same to me.
Yeah,
you know, those
me
guys
too.
have quite the
I'm like,
ear.
oh, it's about time to die. And I'm like, no, that's just a chest. I was like, how do you know? It all sounds the same.
No, that's somebody else. What?
Yeah.
How do you know?
It all sounds urgent to me, but you're right. Absolutely right.
And we also did another proclamation. And as you noticed, I was just a few minutes late this morning. That's because I went down to 4th Street and turned up the alley so I'd be pointed the right direction to park. And I saw the mayor walking into Martine's this morning. And so I stopped and I hate to say harassed, but I did get a few folks in there, you know.
Maybe get them by you, but some huevos rancheros or something.
One of the other proclamations we did was for Jim Gill. And, of course, the mayor said the city also did a proclamation for Jim Gill and his years of service and commitment and dedication to our community.
Yep.
We did Jim Gill Week. Jim Gill Week will be the last few days of April and the first few days of March. So it'll be I don't know if you call it the last week of April, first week of March. I don't know how you designate that when it overlaps.
But it's that 30th through the 6th or whatever, that week there. Yeah.
So we designated that Jim Gill Week. As everyone knows, I heard one of the radio ads this morning on the way over. He's been a huge part of our community, and I'm sure will continue to be for years to come.
Absolutely, yeah. His impact and his family's impact and is something we can't measure so much. It's just so big, and I imagine, you know, whatever the future holds, there is going to continue to keep everything going.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, that's the oldest family-owned business in the state of New Mexico. I believe they started in 1898.
Yeah, it's like 100. I knew 125 years. I'm somewhere around there. Yeah. I've lost count, to be honest.
I can't count that high.
But it's somewhere around 125 years they've been around.
You know, they had roots in Hagerman too. You know, they were part of the feed mill and harvesting stuff in Hagerman.
Well, and this was back before people forget. There wasn't Walmarts and grocery stores and any kind of stores that sold more than one particular type of product. You know, that was a world we lived in. And if you wanted your way into the world, places like Roswell Seed and Roswell Livestock were the ways to get it in these areas.
As you know, when you walk into Roswell Seed, people might think, well, this is for agriculturalists. This is for people that grow alfalfa or corn and, you know, other commodities and crops. You walk into Roswell Seed, and one of the things you see back there is a big counter that has different varieties of vegetables and stuff. It might have peas or carrots, and because that's what they did back, you know, in those days.
That's how you get it.
You didn't go to the grocery store, and I mean, you could get a few things, I'm sure, but you had to depend on yourself.
Absolutely.
And so they not only provided for the agriculturalists who are raising the commodities, but they also provided for the homeowner who wanted to have his garden, and they still do that to this day.
Like your Walmarts and grocery stores and department stores, that's something that started in like the 20s, 30s and all. And, you know, prior to that, you know, it's specialty goods stores, mom and pops. You couldn't go into one place and get everything you need for the day. That didn't exist. You wanted meat, you go to the butcher. You wanted bread, you go to the baker. You wanted feed, you go to the seed guy. You know, that was what happened.
Another thing that I've always enjoyed, if you look at old magazines from the 1920s, 1930s, you flip to the back where all the ads are, and they're trying to sell everyone a lathe or a milling machine or something to make stuff you need to repair your machinery at home.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we have very specialized machinists that do those sorts of things for us because not everybody has an aptitude for that. But
Right.
in those days, they were selling it to everybody on every street corner because you couldn't go down to the expert.
Exactly. You had to either make do or do without.
Right.
So,
And so,
yeah.
you know, we're very fortunate to have all the opportunities we have.
You know, that's why, you know, you look at the history, and yes, Roswell C does so much today, but they were the difference between success and failure for so many families in this place for many years.
For over 100 years.
Yeah, so
literally.
So we do recognize and honor that.
Yeah.
And the Gill family, you know, continuing that tradition, because obviously Jim Gill wasn't around 125 years ago for that.
And
family, you know.
And Jim was an Aggie, so go Aggies.
That's right.
I too am an Aggie, and I very much appreciated that about Jim. He was all Aggie.
That's right.
And you can take that however you mean. I mean, us Aggies expect that to some degree. So.
And you were at the memorial service, and I had to laugh at the end. I don't know, the faux pas, whoever did that little faux pas, I'm sure they caught some flack for that one. But you're speaking of his Aggie dome, at the end of his memorial service, they were doing a tribute to the Aggies, and they were having all the Aggie alums sing the fight song. Unfortunately, they put the words to the fight song up on the screen for everyone to read with a UNM Lobo logo behind it.
Well,
and I was like, that's a faux pas.
Jim appreciated the Aggies so much. And as you know, you met Jim Gill and you knew he was a highly intelligent man and a jokester. I mean, some of the very first things you noticed about him. When I wrote the proclamation for Jim, I put that he graduated or got his bachelor's degree in agricultural engineering from New Mexico State University. The very next paragraph, to honor Jim, not to dishonor anyone else, I said, and then he shared his vast intellect with the people from Eastern New Mexico University, where he obtained his MBA. And I just felt like Jim would have appreciated that.
Absolutely.
Humor. So,
I hope he chuckled when he saw that. I was like, you dirty dogs.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, I better move on. I know we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, I'll get in the rabbit holes.
We had a fairly short meeting yesterday. Didn't have a whole lot on it, but, you know, everything's important that we do. So,
absolutely.
Let me quickly cover. One of the things we did was approved a contract to buy a new fire truck for Midway Volunteer Fire Department. Since we were talking about fire departments and stuff,
Did you tell them it was honor of our 50-year veteran?
Well, strangely enough, one of the things that Monty Baker has done for our volunteer fire departments, not just for the East Grand Plains Volunteer Fire Department, but that has helped every other.
People that do that kind of stuff have a much bigger impact than
you know, his focus was not always East Grand Plains. His focus is always East Grand Plains. But what I'm saying is the things that he does
was for the big picture.
All of us in Chaves County.
All of Chaves County.
One of the things that he did was created a replacement schedule for fire trucks.
Okay.
So, you know, they get their monies in and all, but they need everybody can't buy a truck at the same time. And so he was very much, if not, I'm sure he had some assistance here and there. You know, I don't want to cut anybody else out, but for my dollar, he's responsible for the replacement schedule that we have for fire trucks in Chaves County.
He created that
every
system.
year. A department will come up and say, you can replace your tanker, or you can replace your brush truck, or you can replace this, and you have a refurb budget. So the truck you're replacing, if you still need it, you can take it in and get it completely rebuilt. There's a factor in there. And you had to think many, many years in advance because the fund has to grow enough to cover the cost of the trucks. And of course, the cost of these trucks has gone up exponentially over the last few years. But he's responsible.
And they weren't cheap before then.
No, they weren't. The Midway fire truck, brush truck, I believe, was about $270,000.
Yeah, I'd say usually they're somewhere of $250,000 a piece for one of those. So, and that's probably low end.
So anyway, I just want to again point out the fact that all the departments work well together. Everybody works towards the same goals, and there's a lot of Monty Bakers out there. It's just very few with 50 years.
Yeah, absolutely. But you have to appreciate it even more in the fact that the nature of the the work of what these vehicles do. Like, let's face it, the road crew, they got all these equipment and stuff. And, yeah, it's important. We all have to work. But if the backhoe doesn't work today, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
If that fire truck don't start up to get to a fire, we got a problem.
Right.
And so there's a little bit set of standards here for fire.
Well,
equipment.
and they have to be, they have to assure that the trucks will always start. They have to assure that the pumps are meeting standards.
Mm-hmm.
They do that every year to keep their certifications up. So
well,
there's
when you
a lot
that,
of work.
Well, and you spend that kind of money on a piece of equipment, you tend to take care of it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we see the fire trucks in the parade, and they're always polished and shiny and everything. Well, it's not that they just polished them for the parade. They're always polished. They're always ready to go.
Well, and that's part of the also the process of firefighters and things. You know, the young guys earn their keep and learn their ways by rolling hose and cleaning the truck and doing all the things. That's how they learn the trade. They learn the craft is by doing that stuff. So
right.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
But it's all part of it. It's all part of the tradition and the need. And so when you spend $300,000 on a fire truck, they're going to baby that sucker and treat it because it's going to save lives someday.
Funny you mentioned rolling hose. I remember what little experience I have with wildland firefighting. Gathering up the hose, and then you have to clean that hose before you roll it up. You don't just roll it up.
Because it gets dirty.
Stickers and everything else. You've got to scrub the darn hose.
I actually saw a TikTok video about 6 months ago, and I guess this guy had like some weird water thing that the hose was shooting through and cleaning it as it was rolling it.
Oh, cool.
And I was like,
as it was rolling it
yeah,
too.
it was. So it was kind of like, it looked kind of like your garden hose thing. And it was sending it through there, but cleaning it, and then it was going into a roller thing. And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty."
That's pretty cool.
Because normally it's exactly what you just said. They got to scrub it. And oh, by the way, these hoses aren't like your little green garden hose. These things are hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, and
move around.
You've got a woven fabric cover over the top. If the cover gets damaged, you replace the hose.
Yeah,
you know, because that protects the rubber liner down inside. But you got to keep that all cleaned and
they
ready
treat
to go.
those hoses like they treat the truck. They inspect them and maintain them. It's military is the same way. You look at military aircraft and all that, you would be amazed at how well maintained and how meticulous. Anytime somebody does any kind of work to that thing, it's annotated and everything. And I'm sure it's the same with the fire truck.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
if anybody changes a spark plug or a light bulb in the headlight, someone's talking about it.
Yeah, you don't just get toned out, hop in an old beat up truck and hopefully it starts and go out there and do it, then go back and leave it. And then hopefully next time it starts, hopefully it's got water in it. There's none of that. This is all very precise. Yeah. So what goes on after hours at a station like that is amazing. I mean, like I say, they don't just polish them to show up for the parade. Those are polished all the time.
They got to be in top peaking.
And the reason they're polished is because that's part of taking care of it.
Sure.
Part of making sure the pumps work, part of making sure that they're ready. And
top physical, ready to work when it needs to, because odds are when they get to the scene, they ain't got time to be fidgeting with things. They got to get it and go and start working. That's what they got to do.
And we're very fortunate to have the 8 volunteer fire departments that we have in Chaves County, and they're all the same. They all work very hard for everybody. The other thing I really want to make sure I don't miss, we've got a few more things to cover here, but I've brought this up before, that the way government is supposed to work is people come to us with a problem and we say, oh my gosh, let's fix that problem and find a way to fix the problem. Excuse me, my nose is about to
do your
drop.
thing. Yeah, do your thing. Do what you got to do. But yeah, you're right. That's when you look at government and you know, at the end of the day, it's like, hey, the people that you elect, they're here to run and solve and help these problems. And when something occurs and you want, that's what you do. You go to them and say, hey, county commissioner, we got this going on in our district. I don't like this. This is something we should do about this. And the county commissioner, well, yeah, you're right. Let's do something about it. Or no, there's a reason for that, and here's why.
and about 3 years ago, we had a special use permit request for a concrete plant on Brasher Road near the Hondo River Bridge. And the Brasher Bridge, we call it. But it's on Brasher Road near the Hondo River.
Yeah.
And the neighbors came out to the public meeting and said, we're opposed to this. And one of the reasons they were opposed, there were a couple of miscommunications. And so the person who wanted to build that business went door to door, literally, and made sure that people understood what he was trying to do and alleviated their concerns there. But the other concern was, they said, you know, we live out there. We drive up and down it every day. I've driven down that road, but I honestly had not noticed because it's just a moment in my life. Whereas it's over and over.
It's not something you deal with on a daily basis.
So they came and said, the bridge on Brasher Road is a very narrow bridge. And so there's no shoulders or anything. And as you're driving down the road, there's a bit of a shoulder. You feel like you're safe on the main road, but you get to that bridge, you don't want to hit the guardrail. So you tend to migrate towards the center of the road. The bridge also is very high.
So you can't see the other side.
See the other side of the bridge. And so you've moved to the middle of the road, as the person on the other side has done. And as you get towards the center of the bridge, you realize that a garbage truck is headed straight for you.
And you either get out the way or you're about to be a greasy stain.
And honestly, people that don't traverse that road wouldn't know that.
But when you do it every day, your odds of that happening increase pretty exponentially.
Or if it happened to you one time as I was driving, oh my gosh, I pulled over, and and the next day you've forgotten about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that do that every day.
But if you're doing it all the time and every day, and it's a concern, and you're always worried about it, you're right.
It's uppermost in their mind. And they brought that to our attention, and I actually was the public service director at that time, and my gosh, I didn't know that. So we drove out there, and sure enough, checked it out. Yeah, this is a real concern. We have the landfill there. We have numerous trucks up and down that road.
It is a busy enough highway where it could be a problem.
Many times a day. We need to replace that bridge. So we immediately put it on our ICIP, and we've talked about that, the Infrastructure Capital Improvement Plan, our 5-year plan. Before we can ask for money or anything, it's got to be on that plan.
That's
we have to show
to get it in there to get the funding.
Yeah, we have to show that it's a priority to the county.
Yeah, because they look at it, if it's not on your list, then it must not be that big a deal.
Did you make it up this morning?
Yeah, exactly.
Just because there was money available.
So this is for them. No, shut up. It's been there for 5 years.
So we immediately put that on our list, and we put a high priority on it, and we aggressively pursued funding for it. And we were very fortunate. We put together our funding request to the legislators. County had some money they could put towards it. And we went to the legislators, and they funded it 100%. Unfortunately, those items can be line item vetoed.
Oh, boy.
And that's what happened with that. It was fully funded by our representation that we have here in our county, by our state legislators. It went to the governor at that time, and she chose to veto it. And so we started over. We never took it off the high priority. We just had to start over again. But we were so happy. We did it. We did it in record
just had
time.
the rug yanked out from under you at the end.
Didn't happen. So we continued to pursue it and push for that. Of course, we had COVID come along after that. Prices of everything have gone up.
Yep.
That bridge at the time when we first initially headed that direction, I think was $470,000 what it would cost to completely redo it.
Probably double that now.
We got our bids in, and that's what we did. We approved. Let me back up just real quick. So we've continued to pursue this. The legislators, again, helped us out. Wasn't vetoed this time. We got full funding that we needed for the bridge. So we've gone out for bids. That was one of the things we did yesterday, was accepted the bids from the contractors. The bids ranged from $1.5 million
3 times
to $2.4 million.
So 3 to 4 times the cost of what it would have been had we greenlit this the first time.
So we have full funding. We have the $1.5 million to do the bridge, because we knew that the prices had gone up, because we have to do our due diligence. We don't just go into a contract and say, well, we think it's going to be $400,000. We've updated. We've known that the price has gone up. Sometimes it's a surprise.
That's a big increase.
It's always a surprise that it's
like
gone
I said,
up
double
so
at
much,
the beginning, and I was way off. Jeez.
But we knew pretty much what to expect. Wow. And Alex, and he's our public services director. He already had it pretty much assessed. Anna, our procurement specialist, is the one that put out the contracts, and they worked together to make sure that things were done appropriately, and the bids came in and were legally done. And of course, our finance department knows how much money we've got there, and so everyone worked well together. We have the money for the bridge. They should be starting on it very soon. The contract has been awarded. So a win situation. Took us 3 years, which in government speed, that's actually pretty quick. But I want to thank all those people that lived in that neighborhood for speaking up. If you get mad and go home and don't say anything to us, we can't fix it. Sure. But if you'll let us know what's going on, we'll work towards a solution. And those people are responsible for that new bridge.
Well, we're glad
it has nothing to do with the aggressive pursuit of funds. It has nothing to do with adding it to the ICIP. It all originated with them coming and telling us that there was a problem.
Say, hey, and this is how, and that's how all of our issues should be. When And that's really the forum, and that's why we always say commission meetings are public forums, and we invite and encourage the public to come. Same with city council meetings, where that because this is exactly how government works. It's especially at this level. Right. At this level, you go to speak to the people that represent you, and you tell them the concerns and things you have, and let them. And if it's something that can't be done, that's where they because I get what you're saying. We're here, but here's the problem on this. And in this particular instance, it was like, dang, you're right. We need to go do something about this.
We had no idea.
But it does not happen unless someone presents it at a council or at a commission meeting.
Right. And they were the people in the Eisenhower Road area, Brasher, all that. They're the ones responsible for getting this done.
Was curious, like logistically, does the other bridge stay up and they build the one next to it? How does all that work?
That's where I was headed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're going to have a little bit of an inconvenience it shouldn't take a real long time. I don't know what the exact timeline is for the bridge, but I did want to say that it will be completely closed, completely removed. The new bridge will go in order to keep it to only $1.5 million. If they had to work two different things at once, the price goes up a lot.
Okay.
And in this case, we have other alternatives to get people to town. The garbage trucks
they got another route they can go.
Yeah, hopefully they'll stay on the relief route. That's what the plan's supposed to be, but we'll see how.
Well, when there's no bridge, you're going to have to figure out something real quick.
But the bridge will be wider and the bridge will be lower. So people hopefully will be able to feel comfortable staying in their lane, and they'll be able
to can see what's on the other side.
Sooner see what's on the other side of the bridge.
Makes sense.
I mean, it won't be level with the road. It will still rise.
There's got to be some engineering and physics involved here.
Right. So anyway, that's coming up, and really proud of that.
Absolutely,
really proud of our community.
And even though there was a bit of a kerfuffle getting it going, the juice is a little bit sweeter now because it finally got to happen.
So we also had our annual road hearing. We do that once a year in Chaves County. The road hearing is the public meeting portion of it. So people put in their applications for their roads. The freeholders go out and make a recommendation on what the commissioners should do, present that. The commissioners have a road hearing. Anyone here in favor, anyone here against? Let's hear the whole story. And then shortly after, usually the following week, and that's the way it worked this time, the commissioners themselves go out to the site to see it for themselves. And now that they have all the information, they have the applications, they have the public input, they have the freeholder reports, and they go out and look at it. Then they come back in May and make a final decision. We only had 3 roads this year. One of them is pretty much a given. Cat Road needs to be vacated. It comes off of a main county road, goes, I don't know, maybe 100 yards over to private property and then up to a ranch house.
Okay. So it's a driveway.
It's a driveway. It's a fairly long driveway, a couple miles, but still, it doesn't need to be maintained by the county.
It only services one person or 2 people.
And where it forks off at the main road, like say a few hundred feet, it's a driveway. And so I expect that they will vacate that as requested. But we'll see. I mean, it's up to the commissioners to decide.
There's other variables there, but on the surface, it looks like it's one that's going to go.
The other 2 roads are a little bit more tricky. We've had that's some of our most contentious things when we're working on roads and people see a need for a road and another person maybe doesn't see the need for the road and it gets put in there. Then we have to go through a lot of stuff, and we've learned to work with people like the Bureau of Land Management. 2 of these roads are tied to the BLM. These roads exist. They're not asking to be vacated. They're asking to change the status on 2 roads. And by change the status means that the county has the right of way, but they're non-county maintained roads.
So is the feds taking over the?
No, one of the roads is a non-county maintained road. The other road is actually a private road.
Okay.
And here's what happened with it's Carrizosa Road, comes off Aztec Road on the north part of the county here. In 1999, there's the main road runs alongside or through BLM land, and there's a little parcel there about a mile long, and the road went off of that, called Carrizosa Road, over to a private parcel.
Okay.
And in 1999, someone asked to vacate that. I don't know all the details on it, except that it was vacated in 1999. It's only about a mile long. You can park on the main road. You're right there at the BLM land. So there is access to BLM land. but it goes directly over to a house. Well,
Gotcha.
they ask that that road be taken on as a county road. Part of our road policy says that you cannot vacate a road if within the reasonable or the foreseeable future you will need that road. 99 to now, is that foreseeable future? Those things are subjective. But anyway, they've come back and asked us to take that road on. It was vacated previously. The BLM came in and weighed in. It goes directly across our property. We don't care. You can maintain that road. It will provide access to people on the backside of this BLM parcel, although it's only, like say, maybe a mile. So, I mean, it's not necessary for a hunter to have that road to get to a...
It's more convenient than necessary.
It's more of a convenience, exactly. But they came in and said, we would support this. We're,
does the county want to take that back on? That's the thing. Is the juice worth the squeeze for the county?
That's the whole question. And so the commissioners will have to determine that. They'll have to go look at it and see and decide if it makes sense, doesn't make sense.
I mean, how often does it get really used? I mean, how much does the public use it for BLM purposes? Or is it just this one family that's using it 99.9% of the time? And once every 6 months or so, someone's going
there is that. But public lands are used pretty regularly by people. So that changes the dynamic from if it was.
And that's just it. Like if it's a lot of people that do it, then maybe. But if it's literally nobody but one or two every couple of years,
because like we talked about, Cat Road is a driveway, and so it makes sense to remove that because we have enough to do without maintaining somebody's driveway. Because that's not what
our driveway's really long doesn't make it.
That's not what our tax money is supposed to do. Is to maintain private property. It's supposed to provide.
That's why you bought
for the
all
public.
that land, so you have a little privacy. Build your road.
So anyway, that one's a little bit unique. But then the big question is Sargent Canyon is about 10 miles long. It's way down in the boot heel of the county.
He was a real mean guy in basic training too. Sergeant Canyon was
Sergeant Canyon.
Sergeant Canyon was on you.
That's good to know.
I'm just kidding.
Sargent Canyon is a long road that provides access to many, many, many acres of federal lands and state lands. There's federal and state lands down through there. The county does not maintain that road. It exists so that people can get to where they're going.
Sure.
But at some point, when you don't maintain it, it does become somewhat of a hardship.
Nature does take things back over.
And a portion of this road winds in and out of a river bottom. So anytime it rains, usually it rains a lot, all the water runs, everything in its path is gone.
Sure, washes it out.
So
absolutely.
From the county's perspective, it's not beneficial for us to be down there once a month in the summertime when it rains to fix a road when we have all these other things to do.
Kind of, it's doing the same thing and expecting different results type deal.
Right.
That's what you're doing there. It's a waste of money.
But the owner needs to be able to get to the far end of his ranch and fix his windmill, for instance. Well, that's not a problem for the owner because he can drive on his private property around the washout in the road and get down to his windmill. But the public who's using that road to get to hunting grounds down there, they have no authority to drive on his private property.
Sure.
They can drive down the right-of-way, but if the right-of-way is not passable, where's the fix here? The right-of-way is not passable. They've got to go on his public or private land.
Right.
And, that...
So there's the catch-22.
Yeah, there's kind of a problem there. So that one's tricky. The BLM did come in. They committed that they would assist us in getting that road up to some of a standard.
Well, I mean, is it on the table where they have to buy a parcel of this land from the owner to make it public to do what they got to do? Is that even an option or
no?
Where the part that's washed out, all the time they move it.
There are portions or parcels of private property, and the county road goes through that. So it exists.
Gotcha.
So we don't have to buy anything from anyone. The right of way already belongs to the county, but we have to.
But is the whole right of way going to wash out?
Well, all of it won't, but on the far end, that's
I just didn't know. And this is where I'm like, in my engineering or whatever, it's like, can we just move it so it's not in the washout part?
Well, and that could be an option.
Yeah.
But again, 10 miles of road and probably half of that is the area that will get washed out. But by that time, you're already on public land. Anyway,
is there a lot of people that live in that, just that one? I mean, is there? I mean,
there's a few families out there, but
because part of them, they may not want to traffic.
Exactly, and you know, I say we have to bring roads up to county standards for us to take them over. Well, we don't need a 24-foot wide roadway with bar ditches and everything, but we also don't take on roads that are just a 2-track winding in and out amongst mesquites,
goat trail looking thing. Yeah.
So this is already our right of way. It probably at one time was a full width, but that's kind of part of what we've discussed with the Carlsbad office of the BLM and the Roswell Field office of the BLM and the landowner commissioners. Alex, we were all there yesterday discussing maybe what some of the options would be. BLM is committed that they would give some funds because they're committed to assuring that the public get access to their...
If you want people to visit, then invest in it.
Right. You can't just throw it all on the county.
Exactly. Be a partner.
So we're all working together on that road to try to find a way to make sure that we get that done.
So
and
more to come on that one, it sounds like.
Yeah. That's a really difficult one.
Sure.
Because,
but I can see all sides. I'm like, I get what you're saying. So there is we need to figure this one out.
You know, it could cost the county $1 million a year to maintain that road as a maintained road. Is it worth that? You know, probably not.
I would think
but
most
we
people
can't
not
just throw it away.
But if you ask the people down there, but yes, but most of us are kind of, so that's the deal we're dealing with right now.
And that's those decisions that our commissioners have to make. It's not as easy as you might think.
Hence
sometimes.
that art of compromise we always talk about. That's the real work. It's not what you can defend, it's what you can work together to get done.
So I'm sure we're probably about out of time. I have 2 things I can do really quickly.
Yeah, real quick.
Okay. So we approved a resolution to make the Chaves County Health Council the official health planning council in Chaves County.
Excellent.
That's by state statute. You have to have one. We chose them. They've been working since about 2015, providing services and hooking people up with.
They maintain the 211 hotline here for Chaves County.
Exactly.
And all that,
and a lot of it has to do with funding. It allows them to request funding by being the official health planning council. The other thing that we did is we joined in a project called Project C3PO with Eastern New Mexico University, and that is to provide computer literacy to folks throughout our communities that need help with that.
Has nothing to do with Star Wars.
No, they said that they had to add the word project to the C3PO just so that they didn't violate any trademarks.
Had to pay George Lucas.
Helen Wakefield is in charge of computer literacy at the college. She got up and she explained exactly what they're trying to do. Dr. Powell got up and thanked us for working with the college to assure that we're all pushing forward to the same goals and everything. But we provided a portion of money to their project. They developed the project. They administer the project, but we provided some assistance monetarily to handle that project.
Nice.
And of course, that money came through COVID. When COVID was here, everybody says, well, we don't have broadband where we need it, that kind of thing. So the federal government sent out a bunch of money with a whole bunch of strings attached, can only be used for this purpose. And so we found a purpose that would benefit our community rather than
it was a problem that got exposed during COVID that we knew, but we didn't really have the gumption to do anything about it. And then COVID hit, and they said we got to do something about this. Now we're seeing the feds kind of play catch up on this.
Well, but our community is careful about just wasting money or spending money for the sake of spending money.
Yeah,
there are places that took that federal money and just blew it. We're very thankful that Eastern New Mexico University, Chaves County, we don't do that. We make darn sure if we're going to spend that money, we're going to spend it on something that's needed. So
we know that it doesn't come as quick as it does come. So it's like when you got it, do right with it.
But thank you for having us again.
Anytime. We'll see you next time, and have a great weekend, and stay dry tomorrow and cool today.
I'm anxious for the rain.
There you go. All right, 9:02, you're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
Level of service? Everyone. They just need to visit leafilter.com/gold to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard.
Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leafilter.com/gold.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Large blaze broke out at the 400-year-old landmark on Tuesday. News and analysis, townhall.com. California taxpayers to fork out more money on the homeless.
Governor Gavin Newsom announced nearly $200 million in grant money to cities and counties to move homeless people from encampments into housing. The Democrat governor also pledged to crack down on local governments that were not doing their part. He says a state unit that enforces housing development plans of cities and counties will expand to oversee local spending on homelessness. An estimated 171,000 people are homeless in California. The number has grown despite massive investments by the state. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
Legislation pending in the California State Assembly wants to make more rental housing available to tenants with pets. The bill would ban blanket no pets policies, would also prohibit landlords from charging extra for security deposit and rent for tenants who have cats, dogs, or other common household animals. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
You can blame the sales manager for that one. He came in, he was showing me...
Thomas was here?
Yeah, Thomas is here. He has a stack. He brought a stack of... Okay, kids, back in the day, we used to listen to music on these tiny silver encrypted discs called CDs. So he actually has a stack of CDs. I'm like, I haven't seen a stack of CDs in years. It's like the entire discography for Bowling for Soup.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just bringing them in to show me. He's got one that's like autographed. He was telling me some stories about the boys. And he, Thomas Beard, our sales manager, went to high school, the same high school as the guys from Bowling for Soup.
So are they all from the same school?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Which is actually funny because one of the albums that was posted, the album's called Rock On Honorable Ones.
Yeah.
He was saying that the school they went to, they're like, Ross saying was roll on honorable ones. They would on the field spell R-O-H-O, see, right there. And so Rock On Honorable Ones was what they adopted as like the album title. And this is, if I'm right, this is the one he was showing me he got him signed by all of them.
Autograph.
Yeah. So not a bad little get there. I'm going to check that out here in a few minutes, but
nice.
Looking forward to it. Bowling for Soup this weekend with Jim Blossom. It's going to be awesome.
Nice. So you're going up Sunday, right?
Saturday. It's
Saturday.
Yeah. Or we have an event 8 to 11 at Roswell, or at the golf course for the Roswell Honda Classic. And then from 3 to 6, don't forget, we're going to have representatives out at our Greenleaf doing a online only podcast. What I'm calling a podcast broadcast.
Yeah.
And that's going to be out there at Greenleaf. Crash Test Chris is going to be out there alongside Miss Claudia. Yeah, I've given him a name. That's right. Once there was this guy who wanted to be a DJ, but they put him online and then sent him to Greenleaf. But I digress. But while he's doing his thing, we're going to be heading to Clovis for the concert Saturday night. I'll be back by Sunday because we're back at the golf course on Sunday morning.
Absolutely. Well,
So,
cool.
Busy weekend.
Yeah, you do. You'll be gallivanting.
Indeed.
Across the
Indeed, I
land.
will. So I haven't had a chance to talk about it, but I wanted to
Yes,
bring this up.
We've been teasing this for 2 hours.
Not on purpose. I watched a documentary on Hulu called, and I think you might have seen this before.
Okay.
It's called Too Funny to Fail. Have you ever seen this?
Sounds very, very like, yeah, maybe I have.
So what it's about
I think I
is-
have seen this. It does seem familiar.
It's a documentary that talks about the genesis, the creation of, and the subsequent only 8 episodes that ever aired of the Dana Carvey show.
Okay, that's right. I did watch it. It was excellent.
It's
Yes.
a fantastic documentary.
It's excellent.
But
he pushed a lot of envelopes.
And that's what I'm saying. This show was so, like, as they show in this documentary, whole bits that they did that are hilarious.
Yeah.
Probably would have been, pretty offensive by those standards. But the biggest problem that they had was the decisions that were made. They could have gone to HBO. They could have been another Mr. Show.
Mm-hmm.
But the decision was made that they would get more eyeballs, and Dana Carvey had enough name draw that they wanted network. And the network they went with was ABC.
Yeah, I remember that.
They brought this show on literally like months before Disney bought ABC. So this decision was made
Bad
before
timing.
Disney came in.
Yeah.
And there was also then the decision was made to put the show directly after Home Improvement in order to get the most eyes on the show.
Yeah.
But
Thursday night lineup.
Yeah,
kinda deal.
exactly.
Yeah.
But so it was kind of hard. They got that family friendly
But
sitcom.
I do
going
now
into-
that you say. I remember watching, and I remember, man, I don't remember the Jim Carrey.
Dana Carvey.
Dana
There
Carvey.
it is.
Sorry,
But
getting that because most people think of Dana Carvey, they think of Garth, and they think of that mindset,
Right.
And no, Dana Carvey's actually pretty racy when he wants to be.
Yeah, he pushed some serious envelopes, but
and he was really doing jokes that were funny.
They were really
but
funny, yeah.
Not in the character of what we know him for. So it was kind of interesting.
I grew up with chopping broccoli, but it's not that.
Yeah, it's Bob Saget too,
which is also because you don't realize at the time they were just kind of coming up and doing their own thing. But the cast and the crew is a veritable who's who. Robert Smigel was the co-creator and showrunner. They had Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert on, who he just picked up from Second City.
Yeah.
And Louis C.K. was their
That's
head
right.
writer.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
but
because what's his name? That's Triumph the Insult Cult,
Yeah.
the comic dog. If you don't,
I don't have my phone.
Who's a
on
big
me.
SNL writer?
Yes,
basically like most of the
exactly.
SNL bits and stuff.
All
and
of the TV Funhouse.
He was writing all that stuff.
Which is
yeah.
funny because it talks about it in the documentary that the ambiguously gay duo started on the Dana Carvey show.
I remember. Yeah,
They
yeah.
started that on the Dana
and that
Carvey
carried
show.
over to SNL
Yep.
when it got canceled. You're right.
They wanted to make their car like purple,
and that was all Schmiegel there. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way they got away with the car colored the way it was because they didn't want it flesh colored, so they didn't call it flesh. It was peach colored.
Peach.
That's right. But one of the funniest things in the entire thing was, and they had this running joke. They knew they were probably going to like upset some sponsors, so their running joke was every episode was like back in the 40s and 50s, how it was like Merv Griffin, Winston Cigarettes presents the Merv Griffin Show.
Yeah.
They wanted each episode to be a different sponsor.
I remember because then they were doing like Taco Bell.
It was the
one
Taco
day.
Bell Dana Carvey show.
Like
but,
Sprite or Pepsi was one of them.
But there was one week, and I got to go find. Hang on, I have to get my phone. I just have to play my phone. It's so funny.
He's like, I have to do it. While he's going to get his phone, let me tell you what we're going to be doing this hour here. While he's getting his phone to finish that story, we will get you up to date with the weather, and then here in just a bit, we're going to play our interview we had with Lauren Dickinson from the Roswell Refuge, talking about their big That 70s Dance, which is happening the 27th next weekend out at American Legion Post 60 or 28, their facility there. So we'll play that interview for you here in just a bit. So that's coming up. Did you find it?
I'm working on it.
He's working on it here. So later on in the hour, we'll get you update with the news of the local variety, Wall Street Business Update, and of course, whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show.
I think it's in here. So basically, the way it's explained is each episode had a different sponsor, but the sponsors were getting weaker and weaker. But there was 1 week of the show, they had never actually watched what they were being led into by the home improvement. 1 week, Smigel sat down. He's like, okay, fine. Let's watch the show. Let's see what it is that we're watching, what we're in for. And he sat down. That's not it. He sat down and they found this, they played this promo, and it was Thursday night on a very special home improvement. And it's the episode of Home Improvement where the middle kid, Randy, I think it was, thinks he has they think he has cancer.
Oh, jeez.
It was a very special episode of Home Improvement. And it's the episode where it's like Jonathan Taylor Thomas's character. He's like, his mom's hugging him. He's like, I don't want to die, Mom.
Oh, jeez.
And they're like, this is an episode you'll want to watch with your family. An episode that truly hits home. A very special Home Improvement followed by the Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey show. They played this clip, and everybody in the room just starts, like it was a whole minute of them just howling, laughing. A very special Home Improvement followed by the Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey show. That's just such a great line.
Only TV.
It was so. I mean, you really have to plan things out.
That's the
like
news in real life. Like the news is just like that. Your local news, and it's like 12 died today in a house fire, and all this. And on a lighter note, Smurfy the Squirrel is going to be doing some waterboarding. You know?
There's a comic named Tom Hester. He has a bit where he's like, tonight in the news, just ahead. Go on. No, just ahead. That's it. There was a head they found a head at the post office. Tonight in the news, just ahead.
Yeah. Eyewitness news.
Anyway. I don't know if I want to witness news. But yeah, it only lasted 8 episodes.
Yeah.
It was.
I kind of wish I paid more attention now.
Honestly, I wonder if there's a way to find those episodes because it.
You think there's somewhere on the? They got to be on YouTube or something somewhere, right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, it got to be.
But it was all very, very funny and really like the opening salvo, their very first scene. They were like, we want to hit him funny out the gate. It was that. Bill Clinton, played by Dana Carvey, in an effort to quiet the feminist movement or whatever, has locked Hillary in a room and has given himself female qualities.
I remember that.
And he opens his shirt and starts breastfeeding a baby and then puppies and a cat at one point.
He literally had, I remember
this
that.
This was the first thing people saw after Home Improvement's credits rolled.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the documentary. Yeah, and it was disturbing the costume he was in. It was like a human cow thing.
It was because he had like the line nips like a puppy would, or like a dog would. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Hit him right out the gate with it. But
I forgot about that.
But yeah, it's a great documentary and definitely one of those shows
he does podcasts now, right? Carvey?
Carvey, I think he does.
I think him and some other comedian or something have a podcast out there.
Probably.
I feel like him and
Mike Myers.
No,
I mean everybody has a podcast. So I'm sure he's got.
I feel like
something.
it's like Zach Braff or something like that he's doing.
that's another podcast entirely.
Yeah, but I feel like there's one where it's someone of that caliber that he's doing it with.
Oh, David Spade?
David Spade. There we go.
Okay, yeah, Fly on the Wall.
Spade.
It's called Fly on the Wall with Dana Carvey and David Spade.
There it is. I knew he was doing with somebody.
Actually,
famous.
that would be a great pod to
I've
listen
actually
to.
listened to one or two. It was pretty good.
Because anybody's gonna have backstage stories about.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things about sitting down with Chris Kattan is he was loaded with a lot of SNL backstage stories. He didn't want to get them on the air, but off the air he was glad to tell me a couple.
Sorry, I laughed. You said loaded.
Yeah, fair enough. I deserve that.
All right, it is 9:17. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cool temperatures for the upcoming weekend and maybe a little bit of rain. Mix of sun and clouds today, low to mid 70s. And then tonight some showers will be possible, low 50s. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms coming up for Saturday. It'll be a cloudy day and our high near 60. Maybe a shower Saturday night, then a mix of sunshine and clouds and upper 60s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 53 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 61%. Winds currently out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour. Mostly sunny and 74 for a high today. Winds will be out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, they're saying there's a chance. We are looking at a 30% chance of rain. Don't wait up for it. They're talking like 3, 4 in the morning. Increasing clouds with an overnight low of 52 degrees and southeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, we are looking at a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms pretty much all day. Cloudy with a high of 61, winds out of the northeast 10 to 15 miles per hour. They're expecting anywhere between a quarter and a half inch of rain on Saturday. And then Sunday, mostly cloudy, 65 for a high, south winds 5 to 15, and then mostly sunny, high of 82 when you head back to work and school on Monday.
Nice. I found it.
All right.
So this is the clip from the documentary. So. Let's just show them watching it.
A special home improvement followed by the diet mug root beer dinner crowding show.
It does sound very. He's like a poignant moment, followed by the
because you have to maintain that voice.
God, and I so have been there, done that. Got that T-shirt.
It's the Casey Kasem bit. Yeah. Take me out of an up-tempo number with a story about a dog dying.
Oh yeah, such is life.
Ponderous, man.
I can relate to every one of those. All right, it is 9:19. Let's just take a break. No, we'll take a break, and then we'll have our interview with Lauren from the Roswell Refuge. Don't go away. Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. What you're about to hear will totally blow your mind.
It's the grand reopening at the all-new Roswell Ford. The all-new Roswell Ford has new management and a whole new attitude.
I interrupt this commercial for more breaking news.
Attention car buyers. The all-new Roswell Ford needs your trade, and we need them now. So there's never been a better time to trade and upgrade to a new Ford or quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV for less. Making payments on your current vehicle and you want out early? Even if your current car is rusted, busted, and can't be trusted, Roswell Ford wants to spring you out of your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about payment or interest rate? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more lenders that can help with all types of credit with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Get pre-approved today at RoswellFord.com. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or visit us online at RoswellFord.com. $15.15 per thousand financed on select models with approved credit.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
At UNM, Lobos are building the future every day. Together, we're reimagining water sustainability, engineering the future of healthcare, pushing for progress, and inspiring a generation of minds. Ignite your future at apply.unm.edu.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Refuge, Lauren Dickinson back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. How's life at the Refuge this
morning?
morning?
Life is good at the Refuge. We've been busy.
Yeah, of course, for folks not familiar, the Roswell Refuge is a nonprofit organization. It is home for our victims of domestic violence. If a victim needs help to separate from their situation, the folks at the Roswell Refuge are the ones they come to and help them get their lives put back together and separate from that situation. And on top of that, they also help even the offenders and things. They've got programs for that.
We do.
Through their SANE program, Victims of Sexual Assault. They also partner with them to help if people are victims of rape or other sexual assault. If they help them physically, emotionally, and all that. But
yes, and get those important exams.
Yeah, but if they do need to collect evidence for criminal prosecution stuff, they also help navigate through that too.
We house Kim Hansen, and she is wonderful.
Yeah.
She's also the provider at FHL, and they are wonderful.
Yeah, so this is really what the Refuge does. They go and help. And so that being said, we want to invite you out here on April 27th to don your best 70s attire. Yes. And get ready to come eat a bunch of food and dance and have a good time and just let your hair down a little bit for a
Yeah, it
night.
should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We have a 50-50 raffle. We have some really big silent auction items.
Good deal.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I know you guys have been doing this for, I don't know, at least half dozen years now. I know it's been a while.
I want to say 7.
Yeah, that sounds
7
about
years,
right.
6
Something.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's their annual. Oh, 6th annual. I'm looking at the flyer.
There we go. And I sent
Read
the
your
info
notes,
for
Mike.
for the flyer. Carrie Moore, she is so gracious to help us with that.
Awesome.
Every year. So big shout out to her at Bewitches.
Excellent. Yeah.
Which is an awesome, awesome stop
Go
for
get,
food.
go.
Yes.
I would give you a suggestion, but to be honest, just pick.
It's all good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's,
you can't go wrong.
And to be honest, one day I'm in the mood for one thing and something, so just pick
Yes.
anyone you want.
And my husband surprised me a couple years ago, and he's like, "Which drink do you want?" I was like, "I don't care. Both of them have edible sparkles."
Yeah.
And, I'm like, "Oh, something shiny."
And because of me and I don't drink sweet drinks so much,
Okay.
so I avoid the teas and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, they have a great selection
They're
of
so
teas
fun.
and drinks and things.
Yeah.
I just usually get tea flavored
My
tea.
son was holding it up to the light in the sun outside to
Yeah.
see all the shimmer.
Yeah,
So very fun.
She has a lot of fun
Yeah.
with that. Does a
She
great
is
job.
really
and a
great
big
to
supporter
us.
of many things in our
Yes.
community.
So huge shout out to Carrie.
Absolutely. So, but it is the 6th annual That 70s Dance, and it's happening April the 27th, and you are having it at the American Legion Post 28's facility on Montana.
We are
1620 North Montana.
Yes.
It's not hard to find. If you get on Montana, there's basically 2 buildings in that area. One's
right past the noon.
one's the Joy
Little
Center.
League.
All
Yeah.
that. The other is
Yeah.
the American Legion Post
Yes.
facility out
Yeah, I
there.
can't miss it.
Yeah.
We're very excited. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We did it country themed, Gone Country last year.
Okay.
So we're back to the 70s.
The
You want to see
70s
your
and
grooviest attire.
Get your bell bottoms
Yeah.
or your big collared.
DJ Inferno is going to
Yeah.
be our DJ.
Okay.
And we've had some really nice sponsorships. Pioneer Bank.
Big thank you to them.
Eastern New Mexico Medical Center and FHL Pediatrics.
Excellent. And then, of course, all the proceeds from this go to the Roswell
Yes,
Refuge
they
and
go
helping
right back into helping
programs. Yeah.
our victims at shelter.
Absolutely. And, of course, if you want to learn more about what the Refuge does and all that, please come to the event. They'll be happy to talk to you more about
COVID really, of course, every 501c3, I think, in town or other entities they have felt that, brutalness from COVID and not being able to fundraise.
Yeah.
So we're back at it. And I think everyone's feeling that.
Absolutely.
So the Roswell community, give us some of your patience because
and
you're
you
going to
guys
see a
have-
lot of people doing it.
Because of the nature of the work of what the Refuge does too, there's always a modicum of privacy for the people involved in things. So we love when the community wants to get involved and help.
Yes.
And we encourage it.
Mm-hmm.
But please remember, because of the nature of what the Refuge does, sometimes they're not, they're not in the public eye on.
Yeah,
some of
we
this
have
stuff.
to shy away from.
Yeah.
some
So if you want to work at the Refuge, maybe back to remodeling rooms and the things that we were doing pre-COVID, we can start doing that stuff again.
Yes,
but please remember too, there will be some parameters on that for the for the comfort and
safety,
privacy and safety
of
of the people that currently call the Refuge home right now.
Yeah.
So, But always looking for that involvement. I know every time we talk to folks from the refuge, we always want to remind folks, if you'd like to make donations to the refuge in the form of monetary, or if you'd like to donate everyday stuff, things like toiletries and family size, shampoos, conditioners,
Yes,
soaps.
those are so helpful because even if they have a little bit, they take it with them.
Absolutely. And this is...
So when she puts on that hat for the thrift store, we hate turning people away, but...
It's only so much space.
Yes.
And yes, you can
I think everybody was kind of stockpiling all this stuff that they were going to give away
Sure.
during COVID. So it's like, okay, now let's
the floodgates open.
Yes.
And we do
boxes
appreciate
and
it,
bags.
but logistically we can't handle it all at once. And
you can't imagine the amount of donations that also show up on the side of our building.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately the homeless pick through it and it just kind of becomes a mess.
like other organizations, when you want to make a donation, please call ahead, especially if it's something larger.
Or just come in our front office and we'll be more than willing to open the door for you.
Especially like even if you have furniture and things, they'd love to, but certain times they can't take that.
Yeah. And we have no way of picking it up.
Exactly. And that's and the Roswell Refuge, if you're not familiar, also has a thrift store. Yes. It is a fundraiser for the refuge, so people can come, the public come in and get deep discounts on stuff there.
There's some
However,
awesome things.
it also serves for the folks that are calling the refuge home when they are ready to transition out of the home and into their life again.
Yeah.
They take like the bedding and things, but they also get to kind of do shopping sprees through the refuge and sometimes some of the other thrift stores as well too. So if they need like a microwave or a coffee pot or
even
plates,
during their stay at shelter, if they need a couple outfits, they'll
they can come in
over.
there
Yes.
and take what they need. And
Stella will help
so it priority wise, it serves the residents of the refuge.
Yes.
But it also is a income generator for the refuge. And again, all that money goes back into the programs at the refuge. So if you'd like to donate items to that, or if you want to donate items to the thrift store, but as far as day-to-day need stuff, things like the toiletries, the bedding, the towels, that's stuff that's constantly in need because whenever someone moves on, they take that with
Sheets,
them. So
blankets,
so
things
that's
like
theirs
that.
to keep.
Yes.
It's part of it. So it's constantly
Helps
needs to be
them build
replenished.
their new.
And we can appreciate the travel size stuff, but it's not as useful for us.
Yeah.
A lot of times if you donate that, they'll keep it around and sometimes give it to the homeless or some of the other organizations that could use it better. But in terms for what's best for the refuge, the family size shampoo bottles and soaps and all that stuff are more beneficial than your travel size stuff. Now, if that's what you got and you have a big bunch of it and say, hey, please bring it. We will find use for it. Thank you. But if you're shopping specifically for the refuge, go ahead and get the big family size stuff. It's more beneficial.
And you guys can always call our office is 624-3222.
Yeah.
That's our admin office with any questions.
And food-wise, too, call ahead if you'd like to make donations. Or a lot of awesome restaurants have called and said, hey, we're closed for the night. We got leftover pizzas and things. Can you all use them? We thank you for keep doing and keep checking in and keep doing that because, it is. That's the difference sometimes between success and failure for some of these folks. A lot of, and then we talk about this a lot, where a lot of the victims coming into the home, they're not the most trusting of sort because of the world they've come from.
Absolutely.
They built walls. Their lack of trust in others is their defense for themselves.
Yeah, and having that, their own control stripped away from them, you want to give them some of that back.
So by you, out of the kindness of your heart, giving strangers food and toiletries, it kind of blows them away. It's like, why are you helping me? It's hard for them to understand. And to be honest, it's what cracks down and chips away at that armor and lets them be human again. Yeah. If that makes sense. So trust me.
All healing. It's
you
healing.
coming and donating a half bottles of shampoo to the refuge is way bigger than you think it is.
Yes.
So please consider that when you do that. And food wise too, call ahead on that because there's certain things they can and can't take.
Yeah.
And I do know this. They're not like the refuge's not allowed to buy, like use the money. Like they can use like money that's not earmarked for certain things, but when it comes to support for the refuge, there's certain products and things they're not allowed to buy and usually one of them is like pre-made cookies and candies and things that are great for the soul and the kids and everything.
Feels good.
Yeah. So if you like to even donate
like the fun size packs of candy or cookies or from the bakery or things like that.
They
They're
would
not
love that.
Yeah, they would love that. They can accept it as donations. They can't go buy it for them.
Yeah, they would love that.
And sometimes especially if the family's coming in, there's kids in tow. And they're already nervous and kind of.
Of course, around the holidays especially.
Hand them a big thing of M&Ms or Reese's or something that chips away at that scariness and makes it a little bit more home-like for them. Because that's all we're trying to do is create as close to a home environment for these families that are calling it home, whether they're there for a week or a month or whatever it is. We want it to make sure that they're in a safe, positive place so they can rebuild and reestablish their lives.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So you buying Snickers and doing that is a very big help. Or when you go to the Walmart or Target and pick up the gift cards and drop them off, that's a huge asset.
Yeah, they go right back into just helping those individuals and making them feel better.
Yeah, and services too. Yeah. We get some like some of our beauty salons and fashion outlets and things. They offer their services free for many of the families in the home there.
And that feels good, right? A new haircut or
you don't realize it you're taking people that really are not living in society the way you and I have been because of the world that they've lived in.
Yes.
And so you're reintroducing them why life is good and why people are good.
Almost reteaching.
Yeah.
And
so you're reprogramming people that have been programmed to survive in their own way possible.
Yeah.
And so you got to unprogram.
And sometimes that doesn't look too good.
Yeah. Well, it's no different. This is no different than like when the military and there's POWs and all that stuff, they've got to get them
break you down to build you back up.
Domestic violence victims are very much dealing with the same type of stuff.
Yes, they are.
So if you got it in your heart, come get a $40 ticket. Come dressed in your bell bottoms and corduroys and paisley shirts or polyester suits or it seems like guys' fashions were more ridiculous in the 70s than girls. I mean, the girls had some dresses.
For me.
Yes, the colors.
Gosh.
But as far as the fits and everything, that kind of guys, it's a fit. It's that tight in the middle and big in the bottom. You know, it's kind of and the collars go. Yeah. And the non-breathable materials of the 70s.
Yeah.
They were so into spacey things.
Yeah.
We were so much into Tang.
Yeah. And then, the introduction into the 80s. It was just
Yeah, we went
colors.
We went from the 70s and your oranges and avocados and your browns and that to neon yellow, neon green, neon orange.
My friend yesterday and I were sitting in our office and we were looking at the couches from the 70s. We're like, oh my God, these are so ugly. But it's just the times.
Well, and most of them had a pattern of some kind, either like a forest,
wood inlay,
or a water wheelhouse or something. So much wood inlays.
But I'm sure my kids are gonna grow up and do the same thing. If God, Mom, this is ugly.
Well, yeah. Well,
that's just part of it.
Well, it already happens even with 90s stuff.
Yes.
Like you look, you're like, oh, that's very 90s.
Yes,
look
you
at
walk
that thing.
to Walmart and you're like, okay, childhood. I had that jumpsuit or that T-shirt. You know?
But the weird part is all that fashion's reciprocal.
Yeah, it's okay.
And to be
it
honest,
all comes around.
I remember there was a time in the late 80s, right around my junior, senior years of high school, late 80s, early 90s, where some of the 70s was coming back again. Like there was a hot minute where people were wearing bell bottoms and things. Now they were more 80s designed, like they were the 70s shape, but with the 80s like
color
stuff
patch.
put in rips and all, kind of like the 80s version of the
grunge.
70s. Yeah, that grunge 70s kind of thing. So it all was. So even now there's elements like I'll watch kids today. I'm like, man, they look like out of an episode of Friends. What's going on over here?
Yes.
Is that making a comeback? Can I wear that shirt again?
My son came home. He goes to Washington Avenue and he's 7 and he had to dress like the 90s. And I was like, okay, 90s grunge it is.
That's right. Put on Friends and dress like one of the characters from Friends and then you're good to go.
It's fine. So funny.
But in this case, 70s duds. Get out so get your platform shoes and your and
if that's got a Western twist from last year, hey, we're not mad at it.
Well, I could say
that
70s.
Participate.
Like you could do, and this is early 80s, but also falls in the 70s. Think of Sylvester Stallone Rhinestone.
Oh, okay.
That kind of where he had the slug trail shirts and the uber tight jeans, and that's 70s too,
and
country
tie.
70s.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe a bolo of some kind.
and a jacket that's equally as ugly as the shirt.
The fringe.
Perhaps
Bright
with tassels
yes,
or something on
the
it.
gloves. The leather gloves that match. Man,
Yeah,
I gotta figure out what I'm wearing now. How funny.
I mean, we all lock ourselves into 70s disco funk, but
right? I was thinking the afro,
there could
blonde
be,
afro. That would be fun.
I think we could go a different direction with
Right?
this.
We
You know,
definitely
You
could.
could easily go like that 70s country and,
Yes.
Waylon Jennings type.
Yeah. Love it. We love to see everyone come out and participate.
Absolutely.
It's great. And it's for a great cause.
Absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
it's going to be a fun night.
All the money and proceeds go back
Dancing,
to the
good
refuge in the
food,
same
cash
program.
bar. Yeah.
Oh, it's Mexican food is the
It
theme. So I
is.
guess like
It is.
enchiladas and
I think Kay and another board member of ours is doing green chili and red chili pork
Nice.
with rice and beans and chips and salsa.
all
and
right. So if you
cake.
leave hungry, kind of your own fault.
Yeah,
Excellent.
definitely.
But yeah, come and of course, like you said, DJ Inferno is going to be on the ones and twos doing the music.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's going to keep it a lot of 70s theme music
Probably,
because it is a
yeah.
70s theme dance. But
There
I
should
get
be
it.
a good mix.
I bet he'll take a request or
I
two
bet
of
he
something
will.
that
He's
falls
great.
out of the 1970s genre
Yes.
here. If you want to hear
Yeah.
something that's more from your time.
Right. Not the Bee Gees.
But I would guess, too, because it is the 70s, we got to do some of the 70s dances.
Yes.
And so I imagine there'll be a few people there to teach you, like the hustle or some of the.
Yes, and we're going to have a dance contest.
Nice.
and-
Yeah, to get your best 70s dance on. And of course, it looks better when you're in actual 70s attire doing it.
Yes.
So if you're going to be doing the hustle or doing the hand jive or some of these
Absolutely.
things, then you need to be in your bell bottoms or your
It'll be a
polyester
fun
suit or your dress that's got 30
Mhm.
colors or whatever it is. Something avocado and orange.
Yeah, the Farrah Fawcett shorts and the tennies.
That's right.
We're gonna have
I just
fun.
want appliances from the 70s.
Right.
Like the
That's
kitchen.
so
Like the
pretty.
Brady Bunch kitchen with those
Yes.
oranges and the browns.
Yes.
And that was a highfalutin one at the time.
Yes,
but
it was.
I kind of like that look.
Yeah.
I would go back to that if I could get away
Different
with it.
colors, but yeah.
Although, like the browns,
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it. I think it's solid like that.
I'm like, oh boy.
With the brick?
With the metal caps for the, countertop.
Yeah, there's a certain nostalgia feeling to that. I could lay off with the greens and
Yeah,
some of the
avocado I can't
yeah,
do.
like some of the dining furniture looks
Yeah.
a little. I want more modern there, but like
Yeah.
the counters with the orange and the yeah, I'm kind of down with that.
This is why we have choices,
That's
Mike.
right. But in my head, I want that break. Like, you know how they had that
Yes.
great barbecue thing with the brick and all that? Like that
They
with
did.
the orange. I'm like, I'm looking and I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
And those fridges and stoves. I
oh,
mean,
yeah. And by the way, they probably
forever.
work 10 times better
Yes.
because they're old school Freon. And
Yeah.
they'll,
Yeah.
they'll keep that one
Get
bottle
inside it in case there's an atomic
yeah,
bomb hitting.
probably got 8 pounds of frost inside of it. You got to do that. You
Special license for
get
the
to the point you
Freon.
only fit like 1 pint of ice cream in there because there's so much frost in there.
Yeah. And you got to let it melt once a month. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
funny.
chipping. But again, come if that was nostalgia for you, come on out.
Yes.
April 27th. Best way to get tickets? Can they just come to the refuge office and
They
get
can.
them?
They can come in person. They
Okay.
can visit our website. We have a brown paper ticket link.
Okay.
That's on our Facebook.
Okay.
So whatever
So if you
you'd
just
like
look
to
for
do.
Roswell Refuge on Facebook, you'll find the link for the flyer and then the link to order tickets there.
Yeah, there's
Or if you-
sponsorships available too.
Oh, we still got time
Yeah.
if you'd like to sponsor
Absolutely.
to probably get a table or there's
Yeah, a
different perks for
table.
different levels
Yeah.
of sponsorship
Because we
there.
plan on, talking about our sponsorships even after our event.
Yeah, and we
So-
thank your Pioneer
Yes.
Banks and these
Yeah,
these organizations
Eastern New
that
Mexico
go.
Medical Center.
And of course, and the month of April being Sexual Violence Assault Awareness Month,
Mhm.
Sexual Assault. I think I messed
Awareness
that up.
Month,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you. And so and that's why you remember, please.
Yes.
Have fun in all this, but please also remember if you see things that don't look right, report
out.
it.
Yeah.
Speak out. Talk to somebody.
You could save a
do
life, even if
something.
you think it's not your business. And
Absolutely.
I think we're in that mode in this time frame of,
Yeah.
oh, it's not my business.
Yeah.
Well, you know
It's
what?
not-
Some things need to be your business.
Yeah,
speak
especially where we live in a world where things like sex trafficking and stuff
Yeah.
seems to be much more commonplace.
is.
I'm not saying there's more or less of it than there used to be because I think
But we're
it was.
talking about it more.
But I think it's
in the
more
news more
out of
prevalent.
the shadows than
Yes.
it was 20, 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
And so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We need to expose that. We need to
We need
deal
to talk
with it.
about it.
And and that's why it's so important that because
Yeah.
I'd love it to get to a point where places like the refuge aren't needed.
Yes,
because,
I would love to be out of a job.
Because we got a grip on this.
Yes.
That's a pipe dream.
Domestic violence was eradicated,
Yeah.
but I don't
But
see
that's
that
what
yet.
the refuge does every day, and they're going in there helping victims, helping abusers too, because we talk about domestic violence
It's
and
cyclic,
it's a,
yes.
it's a cycle.
Yes.
Odds are very good that abusers
Learned it.
were victims themselves growing
Yes.
up. Whether it's a learned behavior. Yeah. And I'm not justifying or
No,
excusing.
but we want to help both sides.
But if all you know is what you know, and then someone tells you it's wrong, and you want to change it, why stop that? Why make this better? Let's
and guitar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
Some
deal.
trips.
Excellent.
So
Yeah,
there's
experiences
some
probably,
awesome-
and I'm sure some
awesome
businesses
things.
donated services and
Yeah.
things. So you'll have to come and see
Check
for
it
see for
out.
yourself and bid early,
Yeah.
bid often.
Yes.
Keep checking back. So you shake your leg and then go back to over
And we'll
there.
have a
Look.
buyout thing too. So
They love the back and forth.
Yes.
You and I are probably like, no, I just want to win.
No, I just
Yeah, I just want
need it now.
What is it? That's what I want.
And
I'll
if they
take it.
could
Thank
send it or deliver it like in the next
Yeah.
hour, that'd be great.
you mean you have a chance of getting it too? I don't think so. No, just give
not
it to me
today.
now. Yeah, we're not playing that game. I'll let you look at it. I'm the same way.
So alike. That's so funny.
Yeah. But again, April 27th, 6:30 to about 11:30 p.m. Again, it's at American Legion facility there, 1620 North Montana. Come dressed in your best 70s fashion. Now, if you don't own any and you just want to come, don't let that stop you.
Yeah,
but get in the spirit if you want to,
Yeah.
But even if
You
you're...
might have something in your closet that you could put together.
Some people, depending on how old you are, might just be old clothes. Yeah. they're not a costume per se. You're like, that's just my jeans from...
I had asked my mom when we first started this. I was like, "What do I wear?" She
Yeah.
goes, "Oh gosh."
Hey, some of you got your like wedding suits, or or
Yes,
if you're
and
a bridesmaid.
it's in the avocado.
Oh
or
yeah,
brown or-
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're never gonna wear that again.
Yeah.
And if you just so happen
You
to
could
fit
dye
into it,
You could go get some dye and.
saying I'd
dye
love
it.
to see a couple guys in those powder blue or avocado green or that
Yes.
salmon colored tux. Yeah.
Yes, I'm getting Dumb and Dumber vibes now.
Yes, exactly.
This is great.
That would be good.
Yeah.
So, but again,
And the funky shoes and the
Exactly.
funky handbags, the
Exactly.
woven ones.
Yeah.
How
And
fun.
look, fellas, 70s were a hairier time. If
Yes.
you want to show off your little nest with the
Yes.
pro and all that and the button down,
Yes.
you can all be Tom Selleck on that day.
Yes. The mustache is iconic, but
That's right. But tickets are only $40 per
welcome.
person.
Yes.
You can get table sponsorships available too. Just call or come by the refuge and ask about that too. Phone number to call is 575-624-3222.
Yes.
Is that the main office
Yeah,
to the
that's our
refuge?
admin office.
That's not the emergency hotline.
No,
That's the
that
if you got
is the-
questions about anything refuge
Yes, you
related
need
that's
help with a
non-emergency.
restraining order
Yeah.
or-
Or if you want to buy tickets to that
Yes,
70s
if you wanna
dance,
buy
or if you want to donate an item to the thrift store and you want to
Yeah.
call ahead and ask,
Call us.
that's that
That's
number.
the number.
Or you can always come by there on the corner of what is it, Atkinson and what's where the office is?
College and oh my gosh,
Yeah, don't ask me the roads
my
there. I know
brain
it's right
just
there.
Went blank. College in Montana.
Go to
That's our
college.
shelter.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
going north on Main,
1306
go
West
to college.
Yeah.
Turn right like you're heading eastbound, and then
Yeah.
when you get to the corner of which one was it again?
College in Montana.
Montana. When you get to that, then you'll see it right there on the corner. So just go down
that's our
College. You see it on the
shelter.
corner. It'll be actually on your left side on that caddy corner. If
Yeah.
you're coming off.
We're
of
like
Main.
we can envision it.
Exactly.
Right across
yeah.
the street from
I know
the
where it's at.
Aquatic
I just
Center.
don't know the names of things, and I'm like,
Right.
yeah, I know where it's at. I just
Mine
don't know
went
the name
blank.
of it. So,
Yeah.
but yes, you can get tickets there, and of course, if you have any questions about anything else we were talking
Call us.
about here too. And of course, if you are in need of help, do you know?
out to
Do you have the
us.
hotline on?
I do.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
575-627-8361.
That is a 24/7, 365
Yes,
day
it will
a
be
year their
answered.
hotline. It is monitored by, I believe, people not
Advocates.
in the area. They're even not, so basically it's anonymous.
Yeah.
So you don't, and it is a hotline for you to call as a victim, as someone who thinks something's going on and don't know what to do, or you suspect
Yeah.
something and not sure.
We can
that,
help you.
That hotline is there. Please also know when you call it, you are in the driver's seat.
Yes.
Everything that's going to happen next is totally up to you. If you
Yes,
just want to call that phone number and talk, vent,
Yeah.
and then hang up,
That's
it's
okay
it's there for you to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to do something more than that, or if you're not ready and talk and maybe just want to start the process.
See if we have rooms available.
Exactly.
Something like that.
There's someone there that will be able to navigate and help you through it. If you are dealing with a medical crisis or a physical, 911 is your first thing.
Yes, 911 is the way to go.
If you're trying to break out of a situation and not sure what to do, or if you suspect something's going on and not sure what your choices are.
What you should do, yeah.
Reach out, call that number. Again, give that number out one more time.
575-627-8361.
And keep that handy. Write it down. Keep it in your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Keep it on. Keep it in your directory there. Hope you never need it, but it'd be nice there if you do see something, or if you see something going on and you want to report it.
Not sure what to do.
Yeah, and again, it's all anonymous. Everything is you're in charge as the caller.
Confidential.
Whatever happens next is you're in control of that. If you're ready to break away right this moment, someone will be like, "All right, let's do this."
Yeah.
If you're just wanting to say, "What's going on here?" They'll talk to you.
Is this normal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And please be abusers too. If you're thinking you're doing this stuff and you're thinking, "Man, I
need to knock it off. I need some help."
Someone's there to help you.
They'll get a hold of me.
Yeah. The point of this is to end domestic violence.
Yes.
And
both sides.
And you got to get and we understand that the abusers today were probably victims yesterday. That's probably what it is. And so we gotta end this. So your kids aren't the next victims and abusers. Yeah. That's the whole point.
We don't want to perpetuate that cycle.
We're breaking the cycle.
Yes, we are.
And so come out on the 27th.
Yes,
come have
Saturday.
some fun. Huge. Whereas that 70s dance, that money, and when you donate to the refuge and all the different ways you do it that way, that money is not earmarked specifically saying it's got to buy. Renovating or remodeling the facility, updating,
Even
now that
individuals that might be a plumber or electrician and want to donate some time.
That'd be so great. People donate like tile work and things that are needed in there. But even if, say, your organization or a group of people want to maybe do a HGTV room remodel or something like that.
Open to it.
Maybe you're a fan of all those shows and no one's letting you do that to your house anymore.
Come do it to a room.
Come to the refuge and get together and do it as a nonprofit and use your resources to get tapped into the things, and let's go and have some fun. And because again, they want to make the refuge a home.
Yes.
That they want to make it as much of a home for the families that are calling it there, whether they're there for a month or 2 months or 2 days. They want to make it a positive experience.
They do.
And so painting it, giving them creature comforts, having a bowl full of candy sitting there, all the things you love at your house, they love at their house too, and makes it feel more like home. And to be honest, that also fosters the family environment in there, because they live like a big community family. They cook together. They take care of each other's kids, and
kind of
it's like a little neighborhood in there.
It is.
And
projects together.
So you're helping foster and create that community in there, and giving these people what they desperately need: human contact in a positive way. Yes, in a positive way. Yeah. So, again, come dance, come have fun. April 27th. It's the 5th or 6th annual That 70s Dance. The money to benefit the Roswell Refuge in the same program here. Yes. All proceeds from that. Come on out. It's going to be Mexican food.
Yes, delicious.
Come dressed in your 70s stuff. Door prizes, dance competitions, dance
50,
lessons,
50 raffle.
50-50 raffle, a little bit of everything. Just come, bring a friend. You can get tickets at the refuge and go online. Will tickets be available at the door?
Yes, they will.
So if
we don't sell out.
Yeah, if we don't sell out, but just save time for everybody. That way they know enough with food to make and everything. Yeah. Get your tickets in advance. Come by the refuge or go online and get your tickets, or go to the link on the Facebook page or the website and get your tickets. Yeah. But if you do space and forget, roll in at 6:30 on Saturday in your 70s duds, and you can pay at the door.
We look forward to seeing you.
Absolutely. Did we get it all, Lauren?
I think so.
Excellent. Well, thank you as always.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
And have fun. Don't work too hard. And congratulations.
Thank you.
She's now a I guess you say a taken woman.
Yes. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks.
All right, it is 9:52. Let's pause for news and a quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. The New Mexico Livestock Board, in conjunction with the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Veterinary Services Laboratory, have confirmed the presence of highly pathogenic avian influenza at a poultry facility in eastern New Mexico. Initial testing of the facility was performed on April 10th for the presence of HPAI. Further testing was needed to confirm the presence of HPAI at the facility. All birds on the infected premises are being depopulated. The board did not publicly identify the facility. The Roswell Police Department is again part of National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, with this month's event being held at a different location than in past years. Instead of hosting at the police department, RPD will partner with Walgreens to host the event at the company's South Roswell store on Saturday, April 27th. Members of RPD will be at the store at 1200 South Main Street from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., when the public can bring unwanted or unneeded prescription drugs to the Take Back Day event. The service is free, and those bringing prescription drugs can always remain anonymous. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Now, how do we get 8 years out of when this all went down? We're now past the statute of limitations. The DA comes up with a convoluted legal theory about incorporating federal law to up what it would be in New York, a misdemeanor, into a felony. Only 35% of Americans believe that Donald Trump did anything illegal in this trial. I mean, it's just unbelievable. This is a threat. Bill Barr was right. This is a real threat to democracy. It really is. And Stephen A. Smith got it right. Said he believes Democrats want Trump convicted in the hush money trial to avoid facing him in an election. That's a disaster.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
All right, winter's officially left the building, so why not spring forward and freshen up your home with new premium window treatments from our friends at Blinds.com. Now, Blinds.com, they invented a better way to shop for stylish blinds and shades and shutters, even motorized options for your patio. Everything is 100% online. That means you never have to deal with an overpriced showroom or pushy commission salespeople in your home. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or simply let Blinds.com and their pros handle it. Now, you can have multiple window coverings installed. And with Blinds.com, you always get free professional design experts. They will help you pick the perfect selection for you for free. They even send samples for free directly to you. Blinds.com's free shipping and, of course, the 100% satisfaction guarantee. No questions asked. Save up to 40% when you shop at Blinds.com for a limited time. Up to 40% off. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cool temperatures for the upcoming weekend and maybe a little bit of rain. Mix of sun and clouds today, low to mid 70s. And then tonight some showers will be possible, low 50s. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms coming up for Saturday. It'll be a cloudy day and our high near 60. Maybe a shower Saturday night, then a mix of sunshine and clouds and upper 60s on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Netflix gained another 9.3 million subscribers to start the year, while its profits soared with the help of an expansion of advertising. Wall Street opened modestly lower this morning following yesterday's mixed outcome. Oil prices jumped early on in response to the latest unrest in the Middle East. Shares of Procter & Gamble declined after the consumer products giant missed sales targets for the quarter. Looking to throttle new domestic oil and gas exploration, the Biden administration has finalized rules restricting new oil and gas leasing and development in portions of a federal petroleum reserve in Alaska. A group of Japanese doctors has filed a civil lawsuit in Tokyo against U.S. search giant Google. They're demanding damages for what they say are results showing unpoliced, derogatory, and often false comments. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Closing in on 10 o'clock here. We got about a minute before they kick me off the radio. If you missed any part of the show, I always invite you to check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find all of our interviews there. We had the Dodge boys, Brady and Scott from Richland Dodge, join us in the 7 o'clock hour talking about all the great deals going on over at Richland. Chavis County Manager Bill Williams joined us last hour to fill us in on all of the B squared of all the stuff going on at the commission meeting. Of course, we just replayed our interview with Lauren from the Roswell Refuge talking about That 70s dance coming up. So,
Indeed.
All there.
Enjoy your bananas, sir.
Yeah, and have fun.
Take pictures and videos and all that.
Have fun. Give a full report back on Savannah Bananas and Bowling for Soup on Monday.
Nice.
So.
Be a fun-filled weekend for you boys. Hey, it's not very often we get to break out of the yard, all right?
That's right. They usually don't let us out.
Mm-hmm.
We're usually chained to the thing in the basement. So
they bring us out when they need our voices.
They just boo Radley us all the time. So. All right, we got to go.
Have a great weekend,
Have
everybody.
a great weekend. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Take care. We'll talk to you bright and early Monday morning.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The House has pushed a $95 billion national security aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and other U.S. allies closer to